is why I purchased 3 Nintendo Switches. I got
really?
my original one that I still use to rip the games that I purchased so that I can play them on my PC and have them run better. And
Mhm.
the OLED one for when I'm playing, just want to play a Switch game just in handheld. And I really don't ever dock that unless it's a game that I'm going to stream, like I think I did for Mario RPG, which was fun. And I bought one for X-Ray Girl on the first birthday that she had where we were together so that she could play Mario Kart with Geeks and Gamers, which inadvertently gave her a career.
It's interesting though that
kind of the
as
first
far
step.
behind as Nintendo's been, they still sell like crazy, like hotcakes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just shows that the consumer oftentimes are not like they're just not as caring about that sort of thing. For
Oh
better or
yeah,
for
the
worse.
normal consumer,
Yes,
they
although- well,
don't
yes
even
and no.
aware
They
of all
want
the
good
things.
games. They want
There's-
good games basically.
Yeah, they just want the
want good
games. They don't
And-
know about the whole like emulation
Well,
and them shutting down everything that's a fan project, basically.
Yeah,
Right.
most normies would never know anything about that, but I think Nintendo also does get a lot of defense for doing things that other developers and publishers are criticized for, or like crucified for even. Where Nintendo will do those same things and arguably worse, but there's this element of like, but it's Nintendo, they play to the beat of their own drum, so it's fine. And I'm like, no, guys, they're a video game publisher. They're a video game publisher.
Here's the thing.
Like,
I have been a full Nintendo cuck for my entire life since I was like 5 years old, right?
Nintendo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I soy face 100% whenever there's a new console. I fully admit it. I don't care. But like, even I admit that, like, yeah, okay, they're going after like fan projects. It's pretty scummy. Like, come on, guys. Like, no, I get it,
Yeah.
Mark. Like, I'm on board here. But I think the reason that they sell is because there's a consistent quality there. You can always count on the games to be good. And even for normies who don't understand the political aspect of it, like you were talking about, a Star Wars Outlaws or a Suicide Squad or something, where
Yeah.
there's like a political conversation underneath. Even though the normies don't know that, but the normies do know is that, hey, I bought that Suicide Squad game and it was fucking awful.
Yep.
And then I buy the new Zelda game and it's really good. I'm going to keep buying Zelda games and not
Pretty much,
the,
yeah.
the other slop. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm
You-
aware
you-
of that.
yeah.
Where I think the blind spots come in, though, is more with things like the Nintendo Online service being the only means by which you can play classic Nintendo games. You can't buy them. You can't purchase them. There's no way to own Ocarina of Time right now. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
unless you already have an
Yeah.
old copy. Yeah.
No, but that you can't yeah, you can buy a secondhand one, but you can't own a copy of Ocarina of Time on Switch at all. There's no way to do it. You can
you
only-
can
have that
only
online service. Yeah.
yeah,
rent
you have to
from
get the
Nintendo
super
on a
premium
monthly basis.
Nintendo special premiere subscription service.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
to
even,
play
that's even true.
the thing. That's
Yeah,
the
it's not
only
on the
that's the
base one,
only
right?
the only way to get it on Switch, yeah. Or actually
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the only way to buy it officially
Well,
at all.
would-
Have it,
But
not buy
pay
it.
for it at all, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys have preferred that they just did like the Wii Shop again, where you just buy the games for like $5, like on the Wii and Wii
Absolutely,
U?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
If they don't
100%.
provide any physical copies, at least let me buy them online somewhere.
It would be, honestly, I think it's insane that they would ever even consider charging anyone for a game which they've already purchased on the like Nintendo, the Wii store or whatever it was. What was it called again?
It was just called the Wii Shop.
Virtual console.
Wii Shop,
Yeah,
Wii
the
Store,
vir-
yeah.
Oh, Virtual Console, right?
The
Yeah.
virtual console games. The virtual console games. I think not having those run on Switch, when you said even yourself a couple minutes ago, the Switch is basically a tablet version of the Wii U that was running all those games. For Nintendo to say, oh, you guys don't own those games for this hardware because this is new and different, when it's the same fucking thing. You just don't have to have it hooked up to your TV and it
Yeah.
still works. And I mean, hell, most of the biggest Switch games are Wii U ports, like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny
This
because
is
I was
definitely a complaint. Yeah.
I was
Well, if
considering-
you think about it,
And
go
it's
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
stuff
Oh.
people just, all my point just was it's that stuff that for Nintendo people just have this massive blind spot for, and they don't want to criticize them because they like saying Nintendo are the best. And like it's like a team sports mentality. The Toronto Maple
get
Leafs
it,
have
yeah.
not won a Stanley Cup in fucking 50 years at this point. I've never been alive when they've even
Go
been in-
Leafs, go!
if only they
Go
would
Leafs,
sell
go.
Ocarina of Time in the shops for us, they would win the sports ball game. Or
No,
whatever.
but what I mean is that you still see people going nuts when a Leaf game is happening in Toronto. Like there is just an
know,
element of
yeah.
sports fan mentality with Nintendo that I don't think is conducive to good conversation about the industry. Because the second you start saying anything negative about Nintendo, you have people just acting as if you just said, well, I don't know, something absolutely horrendous. That I think
Yeah.
my example that came to mind might have got us pulled down. So I wasn't gonna say. I was
I
like,
know what
wait,
you mean
maybe-
because like if you compare PlayStation, for example, you can still like the PS3, PS4, PS5, and I think PS Vita shops are all like cross-compatible. You can access content on each one of them on the other, and it's all
But,
you all using the same
It
wallet. And
depends.
it's
It
like,
depends. Some of the games you have in the online stores, they are bound to a specific console for weird reasons. I haven't figured out why, but there's some things I bought on the shop that I can only install on my PS4, for example. It's really weird. I don't know why.
well, sure, but it's still going to be like in your PlayStation.
Yeah, it's still going to be in my
right?
account. Yeah,
With,
exactly.
with Nintendo, there's a different account for the 3DS and the Wii and the Wii U
Yeah.
and the Switch, and it's like you guys should just made one thing. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I mean, if you're going to totally revamp the system and say, okay, no, like the eShop or the virtual console infrastructure is not going to work. You can still sell all those ROMs with all those emulators. That is what you're selling to the people, anyways, right? You're not selling them original hardware. You're selling them software emulation to play these games, which is fine, and I don't think there's any problem with that. But it is what they're doing. So it's like, what is stopping you from just saying, hey, link your eShop account to your virtual console account. We'll see which games you have, and you'll have access to them for free whenever you might need to still go into the eShop, but it'll be like on Steam when it just says get game or play game as opposed to buy, because it's just like, oh, you already have this game, or purchase $0 because it knows that you paid them for the digital version of that game already. And I think I think like them just yanking those libraries from people, I think is such an egregious thing that I have no idea how people still defend them as hard as they do. But
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Xbox actually does it pretty well for their
yeah,
consoles.
they're probably the best of the consoles, I'd say.
Yep, you just have it's all there on their store. If you put in your Xbox 360 game on your Xbox Series X, it'll be like, hey, here's an updated version of the game. Just download it. So now that you have the disc in here, we know you have it. So it's like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
It's pretty convenient.
Hell yeah.
And they're the ones who are failing now. This world
So
sucks.
speaking of video games,
Video games.
guys.
Joker too.
Speaking of video games, which Joker is better? Is it the Joker from Suicide Squad or the Joker from Joker 2?
Joker 2.
Yeah. God, so it's gonna. But yeah, yes, Chad, I am actually alive. I've seen some people in chat's like, "How are you alive after the EFAP last night?" And I'm just saying, barely. I'm barely alive. I would like to lie down and sleep, but that's not what we do. We have a show to do, and yeah, it's obviously, as you can see, good old Joker, Dieu le fleur or whatever the fuck it is. It's Joker 2. Nobody cares about the.
It's French.
Yeah, it's French. Ew, gross.
You're German. That's basically the same thing.
Oh, how dare you!
It's all European to me, man.
Oh my god, the racism. The racism.
Europe must be stopped.
It must be stopped. But no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I had some sleep. I think I went to sleep at like 6 a.m. because I couldn't fall asleep immediately, as you do, because you need to wind down a little bit, watch some YouTube, and just hang out. But yeah, we watched the movie, and now we will talk about it. We had the little preamble, and I guess we can just do little blurbs. The classics, they always work. Good old blurbs. And how about we start with the brand new guest, Mr. Shaxworth? How you doing? What do you think? What did you think about the schmovie overall?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you, Mark, for recommending me to come on.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm a bit of a cinephile myself, and I don't get enough time to talk about this stuff. And really, Joker 2, it was really interesting because I sat in the theater, I'm sure like many people, thinking, what am I watching exactly? And because there was moments that I thought there's some really great stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Phillips is a genius in some ways. But then, like that Rolling Stone headline, I thought, who is this made for? Like, I don't know what audience this is. And funny enough, there was like a family with their 2 small children next to me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw some kids in
even
my theater too. Yeah.
all that stuff coming like together, it was like, even the musical numbers. I'm like, I don't really hate this, but I could never really put a full stamp of approval on it because there's too much going wrong. There's not enough right and cohesiveness, and just an all-around disaster. And like everyone else, it's not something that was really needed. I think people, if you enjoyed the first one, I think a lot of people enjoyed the first one. It was a good ending, and then sometimes you just like a story that ends. Joaquin Phoenix, I still think had a great performance, but it was just so poorly paced, and I couldn't really keep up. I think I even nodded off at one point. So I'm excited to get into it with you guys. It'll be good. It'll be a good show.
Nice. Well, Mark, you want to go next, or want to go second to last, or what was you?
I'll go second to last. Why don't we jump all the way to the other end? How about you, Dev?
Oh my god.
We'll do the Canadians and then straight to metal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Dev's one of the Canadians. Shit.
Yes, I am one of the Canadians.
Then metal.
No, go ahead, Dev.
So, when I watch new movies, I tend to put up like a vlog on my side channel. I mean, my main channel is all like politics and drama and books and streams and stuff. But my side channel is just like a personal channel that kind of gets like no traction, maybe a few thousand views or something. But generally, what I'll do is it'll be me and my girlfriend and sometimes my friends, and we'll immediately get out of a movie, hop in the car, and then just shoot like an off-the-cuff vlog, just kind of describing what we thought about the movie. So we did that with Joker a few days ago, the second Joker, and actually it ended up being like a video of like an hour long about both Jokers, because we didn't do one for the first Joker because we weren't doing this 5 years ago.
Right.
And the more that I've kind of sat on what I said there and thought about it, the more I realized that I do actually kind of like this movie. I don't love it. I know this movie has tons of haters right now, and I understand. And I don't love it. And the first movie is far superior. The first movie is like a masterpiece. And this movie does kind of ruin the first movie in some ways. But I did at least enjoy this movie, kind of. I wouldn't watch it again, but I don't think it's like a complete, flaming dumpster fire, unmitigated disaster. It was okay. It was an okay movie. My biggest criticism is that they put all of the musical numbers in the middle third of the movie. You're supposed to like spread out the musical numbers across a musical, and there's almost no music at the beginning and almost no music at the end. And in the middle third of the movie, in between every plot relevant scene, there's like a 5-minute detour for another musical. And by like the third or fourth one, I was just thinking, all right, guys, I get it. We're going to sing for a while now. Can we just can we skip this part, please? Can we get on with the story? I understand. Also, usually in musicals, the plot advances during the song, right? Like things happen in the musical, in the music, and so like it's actually worth watching them. But most of the musical segments in this film are just inside Joker's head, so there's no plot advancement. It's just a 5-minute detour for stylistic reasons, and that kind of gets old. So it was an okay movie, not a great movie. I don't regret seeing it, but it's certainly not the masterpiece that the first movie is.
Yeah. Well said.
Well, there you go. John.
All right, John.
Yeah, I didn't have a good time with this, and I think the first film is excellent, and I was on board with the idea of turning it into a musical, like because the thing with Joker dancing in the first film is sort of a transformative sort of way of birthing the Joker persona within him. I thought that worked really well, and I like the idea of taking that and expanding on that and doing like a full-on musical sequel. I thought that could be good. I was looking forward to Lady Gaga's casting in it. I thought that was an interesting choice. Had a lot of potential, and I thought it started strong. I actually liked the cartoon at the beginning, and I liked the him sort of fighting with his shadow, and his shadow it's sort of a classic cartoon staple where you have like a cartoon character's shadow acting independently, but here it actually had thematic weight to it, and it seemed like I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna dive deeper maybe into some Jungian archetypes here. This is cool. But the whole thing overall is a drag, and the story is just, it's so straightforward, and all of like the visually interesting stuff, like Deb was saying, it's all in Arthur's head. Like a bunch of it is like fantasy because he's sitting in court bored, which funnily enough is, I think, sort of mirrors the audience experience where people are thinking just like, get on with it, Jesus. There are technical aspects of this film that are really impressive. Like there's some really nice cinematography, there's some great lighting in it. But it is ultimately a drag, and people were, I mean, there was barely anybody in the theater I was in, and the people that were there were walking out around
damn.
like the second or third musical piece. I sat through the whole thing. I very rarely walk out of a movie, no matter how bad it is. But I was looking at my phone sometimes, like I just really wasn't engaging with it. And not only was I bored, I was like irritated by parts of it, like where, because not all the musical bits are like big set pieces. Sometimes it's just a shot of Arthur just sort of like singing lyrics with no showmanship or projecting his voice at all. He's just sort of mumbling through a song, or sometimes Lady Gaga does the same thing, and it's just like, ugh, this is. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to see this. This is not moving anything forward. Um, it was really disappointing and such a bleak downer ending, and it
Yeah.
felt like it was hitting rewind on the first movie basically. As there's some weird thing going on here where I feel like Todd Phillips thinks that there's so many people who liked the first film for the wrong reasons, and I think like he felt bad and resentful for that, and then he decided to make a movie that's essentially undoes the first one, and undoes the first one, and it's such a shame. I mean, fortunately, I'm the type of person who I can enjoy like a movie in isolation. You know, like the first Joker is still like great, and I can watch that, rewatch that, and just not think about the second one. But fuck, what a wasted opportunity. I think they could have made something cool out of this, but it just didn't work for me.
Very well.
Yeah, and
That's about
I'm
it.
going to echo a lot of John's sentiments here. I really didn't have a good time during this movie at any point. I was consistently in a state of anxiety and I don't know, I guess kind of despair. Like that I guess maybe you can argue it made me feel what the movie was intending, Arthur to be feeling. But I felt like, as John was saying, a lot of it kind of dialed back the first movie, and like we've reset him to just being, unsure of himself, Arthur. And this premise where Joker is this alternate personality and not Arthur, sort of finding confidence in the darkness inside him, which I thought was a really interesting thing about the first movie that we talked about on our last episode, of it really being this thing where he comes into a sense of self assurance where he's able to actually say the things that he wants to say and do the things that he wants to do. But because the means by which he got to that confidence is, through horrible acts of violence, it's made it turned him into a very terrible person by the end of it. And at the same time, he was a person who knew who he was. Whereas this whole movie, it seems like Arthur doesn't know who he is at all, which I just found to be a strange route to take this character in this story. And none of it seemed to really have any direction. Like it all just seemed like things were happening that were really bad. And then the whole segment of the trial like I felt like it contradicted a lot about even things like Gary and his interaction with him, that obviously we'll get to like once we start moving through the movie. I just thought a lot of it didn't seem to move the character in a direction which seemed to make sense, while also trying to do like 5 different other types of movie, none of which seemed to have a clear vision or point. It just kind of seemed like things were happening that were spiteful. And as John also brought up, maybe that was intentional. Like maybe it was, yeah, fuck Arthur. Fuck this guy. You thought that he like became the confident Joker, and now you've got an actual villain, not a hero, a villain for this universe. It's just, oh yeah, he's a terrible person that like is not even able to really pick a path. Because even, oh man, the ending, the kind of twist in the resolution of his final argument is entirely undone by his conversation with Lady Gaga afterwards. And I didn't like at that point. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with this movie? Like, I was like, I don't even get what you're trying to say about Arthur by walking him back to his old persona and having him kind of be like, yeah, no, I'm not the Joker. I'm Arthur. And, you know, I've done some bad things and I should pay for them kind of deal. It's like, yeah, I could appreciate you going there, but stick with it at least, you know? Okay, that was probably pretty nonsensical, but like this movie confused me a whole lot. I think that again, good cinematography. I think Lady Gaga wasn't the problem with it. She was good. I thought like her singing was better than Joaquin Phoenix was in general. I thought he was a lot better in Walk the Line as far as his musical performances went. I thought she was fine though. I think acting wise, Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. Brendan Gleeson did a great job. Like, you know, there's good actors in it and they were good. And the movie looks nice, but I didn't even really understand what I watched by the end of it. Like,
Can I
was
add one
very,
thing?
very confused. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
I just want to add one thing. That what I guess I summed up with this movie is that at the end of it, I thought this is between the first one and the second one, you have two like almost separate character studies under the name of Joker. Like it was almost like they wrote an entire script and that was too long and then threw everything on the floor and then picked up the pages and didn't know where to put everything. But like this never should have been a Joker movie. Like the first one worked well, but this one you could have renamed something completely different and may have been able to make a pretty decent character study. But like you said, Mark, is like, and a lot of you guys, is that it just sort of undid what happened in the first one. But like Dev, I really wanted to like this movie and I want to speak to some of the good things, but it's hard. It's really difficult. Like Todd Phillips does a really bad job at letting people like help him and saying that he,
Todd Phillips his thing just might be like, Todd, you just don't make sequels ever.
yeah.
The Hangover sequels were not very good. Old School never got a sequel, and it's wonderful. And I hope you never make one now. Please, not even.
Well, the Hangover
spite me for
sequels were
saying
bad
that.
because they were like the same thing. This is not the same thing.
Well,
better or
they were still
worse.
bad. Like that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like the guy has not nailed a single sequel, in my opinion, at this point. I was hoping this would be the one, and I honestly thought that making it a musical and casting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn was interesting enough for him to be like, okay, well, this will be something very different. So maybe it being as different as it is will be good as a Todd Phillips sequel. You know, because him just trying to do The Hangover again twice didn't work out super well. And Road Trip was only one film, also quite funny.
My issue
gotta
with the
be- you
Hangover
gotta be on board
sequels.
for Tom Green, though.
My issue with the Hangover sequels is that I think they have tonal issues. Like the 2 and 3 all of a sudden become much darker in a way that I don't think is appropriate. Like the first one is much more lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's my turn. That's interesting. I've heard all of your guys, and basically everything you guys went over, I thought about because I watched the movie and then I just kind of looked around what people were thinking. I was looking like an open bar and what they were talking about. I listened to Nerdrotic talk about it, and it's like, yeah, so interesting. And I was just thinking, it's like, what do I actually think about the movie in isolation? And like, if it would be alone, I would be like, eh? You know, it's like, I guess there's like something there that's kind of fine. Like it's okay-ish as a standalone movie. But then you obviously have to put it in the context of the first one, because this is the reason this movie exists. And in the context of the first one, it's just completely confusing and baffling to me. I just don't know what happened. Because, as already been pointed out, when we start the movie, we basically reversed what happened at the end of the first one. It's like, oh, he embraces the Joker persona, goes crazy, is a horrible person now because he's been led to the brink, to the limits of himself because he's been abused, neglected by society, blah blah blah. We live in a society, you know the memes, but that's what happened. And then obviously a lot of people have also been saying, it's like, so this seems like a thing. Oh, we need to show the audience now. No, guys, this guy is actually a horrible person. He killed people. Like there was ever a problem for us to figure out. I'm sure there's like weird people out there. It's like, oh man, Alpha Flag, he's like my idol. I want to kill 5 people on the subway and then smother my mom to death. Sure, there's probably people like that, but that's not the reason why most people like this movie. It's because the character was very well established. We knew what was going on. We understand the world that this is set in and everything. And then we start the second one. And it's like, oh, he's just hanging out here. He's not doing. He's not really being a Joker right now. We're just like, okay, that's weird. And I guess we talk about it, but you can make all kinds of arguments what might have happened. Like maybe it's the medication and he's back on that. But the first half, maybe even a bit more, just feels like we're catching up to the end of the first movie, if that makes any sense. Like we come back to the Joker persona. It's like, oh, feels like where we should have been already, but we retreaded this. And a lot of the court scenes are also a bit of a retread of the first movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, remember the case files you've read? It's like, yeah, I saw that. I saw this. But the thing is, I need to double check, and we can talk about when it happens, because I'm not 100% convinced by the medication thing, because I don't know if he was treated for a split personality. Because I thought his medication, and I could be wrong. I'm gonna leave this to an argument later on, because I'm actually not entirely sure. Because I get the whole thing with the medication, but I don't know if he was medicated for like split personality. I thought it was like medication for his anxiety and his laughing thing. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe this has something to do with this. I don't know if anyone can actually comment on this. In any case, you know, it's just something to think about. But yeah, it's I'm overall meh about it, but I don't like it as a sequel at all. I think it's really weird and confusing. And again, the musical things, they were basically like, this thing happened. We are in love now, and then we have like a musical scene or them singing to each other that they love each other. So again, just not really further the story. We don't go a step forward. We're just like retreading the thing we just understood as an audience with the musical thing, even though they looked really good. Especially like the dream ones. It's like, oh, that's cool sets, and the acting and stuff is really good. But yeah, you know, it's whatever. And I found it to be a bit of a drag personally as well. I just I don't know. It's I think like 40 minutes in, I was like, man, I'm not into this really. I mean, this is well acted and everything, but I'm kind of bored, which obviously is like might be a me thing. Some other people don't think it's boring, but you know, it's a whole bunch of things, and we'll probably get more into it. But yeah, that's basically my thing. That's my thing.
I think I've come up with a good parallel to how I want to view Joker, like the 2019 film, in relation to this one. If you guys have ever read the comic book The Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller book, 1986, very popular. Most movies have been trying to riff on it since like the 80s. In 2001, there was a sequel to that book called The Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is not good.
Oh.
It's very not good. And most people just don't really ever read Dark Knight Strikes Again. They read Dark Knight Returns, and that's it. There's even a third one that
The
I've not
series
read.
ended here.
Yeah, there's it's a trilogy technically though. There's The Dark Knight Strikes Again, and in 2015, Frank Miller wrote The Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. Apparently, he became a PC gamer.
Okay.
But Dark Knight Strikes Again was so shit that I've not yet brought myself to even want to read it. Like I'm just like, nope, I don't need to read Dark Knight Strikes Again ever again. So I feel like I don't need to push beyond that either. But Dark Knight Returns is a wonderful book. You should read it.
Well,
So
that.
should I like mount my mid defense of this movie? Since it's only going to be a mid defense, but I do think that it's
Okay.
worth seeing and it has some good points. Yeah, you guys all said that like it was kind of nihilistic, and you know we end up back where we left off, and you know it feels like we're just beating down Arthur Fleck for no reason at all. You know, I get it. But some people like that, and I kind of like that. You know, I like the Saw movies for the same reason. I don't necessarily mind a torture porn story. And that is what this is.
Oh, some
maybe
movies
it
are
just kind of
hilarious, though.
maybe it squeezes my emo gland. I don't know, but I didn't mind that.
We
aspect
are
of
going to
it,
be covering
you
the Terrifier films shortly if you'd like to come on for some corporate stuff.
But yeah, so like there's like a bleak nihilism to the story that some people don't like, but I can actually watch a story like that just fine. I'm okay with that sort of thing. More importantly, though, Metal, you mentioned the medication, and I'm under the impression that they confirmed it explicitly both in the previous movie and in this movie that Joker isn't he's not a split personality,
Hmm.
and he's also not character growth. He is quite literally just Arthur Fleck off of his meds.
Right.
Because I mean, even in this movie, there's the scene where Lady Gaga says, "Stop taking your medication," because she wants the Joker to come out, and then Arthur says, "I already have." So, and I'm pretty sure that was them explicitly saying that no, that is what the Joker is. It's not like Arthur Fleck has grown into this terrible person. It's just him off his meds.
I think that's way less interesting than it being actual character development, though. Like, I think dumbing it down to just on meds or off meds is, I don't know. It's just like,
Well, the
not
problem
much
is
more-
then
not much to that, you know.
it's a like a tiled quilt that is like all the patches are like they're not cohesive and they're angled weird and it doesn't make a good pattern. And that's the real problem with this movie is that there's really great elements and even like dialogue that's doesn't fully tie itself together, and it's or they put these musical numbers in weird spots that are either too long or too short, and you're like
Yeah,
wait,
it's fucking awful. Yeah, I agree with you. There.
you know what I mean? Like even like some musicals do it well enough, or like these psychosis movies where you're not quite sure if what you're seeing is reality or their like actual reality or their reality. And the first song I think that Arthur sang by himself, it like he's like walking around the room singing it to himself, like while they're watching TV, and then
with all the inmates, yeah.
yeah, and then all of a sudden he's just like sitting there alone, and I thought, wait, did he just imagine himself doing that, or did he actually just do that? And like, because in musicals, a lot of times you'll have like the lights dim, and that's like, okay, his personality is now taking over, and they did that at a couple points. But like I said, like a lot of this stuff just didn't get tied right, and it made it felt very, very, very disjointed. And I think that like your point, Dev, of that, like, oh, get off your meds, like. I think that was supposed to indicate something to us, but I think it was sort of lost in between some other good moments. And that just, again, that's what kind of sucks, because I agree with you that there's really good points and then it falls short and you're knocked out of it. And then it's hard, like once you're derailed, it's hard to get back up. But yeah.
Well, there's two things here, right? The first thing is the meds thing, and I think the first movie heavily supports my interpretation of this, because in the first movie he goes off his meds and becomes the Joker, and then at the start of the second movie he's no longer the Joker, but it's because he's back on his meds, and you see him taking them in Arkham, right? And then he becomes the Joker when he goes off it again, which is, by the way, why I think the ending of the second movie kind of ruins that whole setup, because for almost 2 movies they've built up the fact that he becomes the Joker when he's off his meds, and then the final confession where he's like, yeah, I was just pretending the whole time. Like that ruins everything. That's like the ending of this movie, right?
Well,
That ruins
yeah, I was going to point that out, but I guess I also want to just clarify my point of saying that, like, I'm not saying that the meds have no effect. I'm saying that boiling it down to being only the meds, I don't think A understands what the first movie was doing, and B understands how medication works. Because, I mean, you're not a totally different person when you're off your meds. It's not a new personality. That's just you without the inhibitions that the meds are putting on you, or support, because some meds pump you up as opposed to like suppressing you. But we're going to assume he's likely on SSRIs, antipsychotics, likely. Probably.
Well, I got a list if you want to see. I got a list if you want to know.
Oh, do they say his actual meds? Okay, yeah,
yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, so he was on benzodiazepine.
Okay.
Is,
oh well,
sleep
benzodiazepine is a class of drug, but yeah, no, probably lorazepam or something.
It's temazepam. I don't know.
Temazepam. Okay, yeah, that's yeah. It is a
benzodiazepine. It's an insomnia, and then he was on penelzine, which is a antidepressant. He was on is it well, a lot of these actually are no longer used because they're actually quite dangerous. This is set back in what, the 70s or something.
Probably a tricyclic antidepressant. Tricyclic. I think it's
there's
antidepressant.
Amitriptyline, which is an anxiety. Anxiety, tension, mood. Perfenazine, which is an antipsychotic, and then Benzedrine, which is an amphetamine, diazepam, and meprobam 8, which I have no clue what that one is. Apparently it's a tranquilizer. But anyway, he was on 7 medications in the first movie. You get a good shot of all of them.
Okay.
And I mean, it's conceivable that he's a drastically different person off of all 7 meds, because he does go off all 7 meds in the first movie. So I can buy that, even if it's not like scientifically accurate, I can buy it because I mean it makes thematic sense, and I do actually think it just makes thematic sense with the story, because the first movie is all about the breakdown of social services and social decay and how the underclass of Gotham is treated, right? And it turns out that when Arthur Fleck is just the symbol of what happens when you treat the working poor that poorly, is that he goes insane. So he loses his meds as a result of not just what happens to him personally, but as a result of the society itself breaking down, and then he becomes the Joker as a result. So I think thematically it worked. The medication angle as being the birth of the Joker works just fine for the first movie. The issue is what they do with it in the second movie.
I don't think it's only
I
think you're putting
yeah.
too much emphasis on the medication
it's not
here.
just the meds.
It's
man.
a combination. It's a
there's
combination
person
of
under there.
him getting abused, getting abandoned by society, then not getting the meds, getting bullied on the train, having his laughing fits in really weird places where he's like, hey, I just want to make this child laugh, and he was like, oh, you fucking freak, stop looking at my child. And then he has this this thing, this little tab. Like, I think it's like the medication is definitely
card.
part of it. It's part of it. That
Yeah, it's an element.
the medication getting taken away from him is probably one of the bigger parts, of course, because that can fuck with you, obviously. But yeah, at some point, there's like a whole set of
it's
things
the same reason
that
you can't say I'm not responsible for that murder I just committed because I was drunk, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I understand. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Like it is still you, right? Like it's who you are doing those things that's important. And I think that the first movie, in addition to having the medication as an element and even a catalyst, arguably, I still think there's enough character stuff there that to dig into that that I don't think you can just balance it out to. It's just Joker is who he is when he's not on meds. It's like, I don't know, man. There's more factors that went into him doing everything he did while he was off the meds that turned him into Joker. I don't think it was
Sure.
just...
I'm not saying that's not true. I guess the question then is, if the first movie played out the exact same way, but Joker did not go off his meds, do you think do you think he would still have shot those 3 guys?
Who knows? Like that's the thing. Maybe he might have just shot himself.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I mean, like that's the thing. Medications aren't, especially old medications that are not being used anymore for reasons. It's not necessarily a hey, these meds fix it. It's not as simple as that. Like pharmacology, especially, pharmacology, especially, like medications that affect your mind and how your brain operates. You need to be changing those pretty frequently to even dial in which ones are the ones that help.
Wait,
so
Hold on a second. Someone in the chat is saying that he shot them while he was still on his meds. I haven't seen the movie in a bit. Is that true?
I was just thinking about that myself. It's funny
Like,
someone
what's the
points it
order
out.
of
I'm
operations?
trying to remember what the order is.
Oh.
I think he murdered them, and
Yeah.
then he has the council thing where she says, "Yo, we're getting cut." I think that was
Okay,
the
fair
order.
enough then. Fair enough. All right.
And he dances
Understood.
when he dances in the bathroom after shooting those guys is arguably the first time he's Joker. Like if you are going to divide the personas, it's, and what we talked about, like John and I were mentioning that like the idea of this being a musical is not thematically inappropriate to the first film, because dance was a really specific expression of what was happening to him psychologically. And like him embracing, I think, who was it that brought up the Jungian archetypes?
Me.
I think it was
That was
Brahms.
John.
It was John, yeah. John again. There we go. That like it's kind of him embracing the shadow kind of deal. It's like, whoa, no, like maybe the shadow is better. Maybe I'm better when I'm embracing that darkness. And I don't know. I think that like again, the meds they're a factor. I don't think they're the argument, like I don't think it's the whole deal. It's just on the meds, off the meds. I think there's too much more going on, or at least in the first movie.
That's fair. But I do think that it is realistic that we would see a soft reset of his character when he goes back on the meds and he's now in Arkham. Like I don't expect him to be the exact person that he was at the end of the first movie after being remedicated. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I still don't know that even the medications, though, would make him want to stop embracing the Joker, especially knowing how much worse he feels on them. how much less confident, how much more like the pathetic abused child that he was trying to not be anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Which is why, again, this is why I think the end of this movie is pretty bad. But at least the start of it, the start of the movie, it's believable in my opinion.
That's one of the reasons
again, it's all in what you end up doing with it, right? So, like, I mean, they probably could have done something better with it that would have made more sense to both of us. But I think ultimately this movie's just got some problems. So, sorry, Shagsworth, were you going to say something?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I think the titling this Joker is a problem, is because we're carrying in our head what we know the Joker is as a character and who he is. Like, he's antithetical to Batman in every way. Like, he is chaos. Like, he is just like he is the Joker. Like, he should continue that. Like, he has no remorse. He enjoys being the Joker. And there's nothing outside of that. But in carrying that in your head, it's hard to look at this as like the medication could be doing anything. You know, I don't know. That's why I hate that you have to look at this as a Joker movie, because it's just not. It's a character study of a guy who is, you know, screwed over by the system and has had a lot of mental health problems. And like, if you look at it that way, it can carry a little bit better, not very much better, but it's hard to separate the Joker out of this, because it is titled that, and you have characters from Batman in this. But yeah, and I wish they would lean more into the title of the movie. They never really talk, because it means, it talks about dual psychosis, right? Or shared psychosis.
It's French for the madness of two.
Right. So
it's like an old name for a mental illness where basically you can transmit the same mental illness by being close to someone for a long period of time.
Right. But you can also, and I wonder too if it's even a play on the, you know, his shadow. Like, he's battling with two people, right? Like, he's got two sides to himself, but also he has Harley Quinn that's there, like, egging him on, like, we can do this. We could burn it to the ground, or we could build a mountain.
And she has two sides to herself too. So like, there's multiple meanings here. Yeah.
Right. And I wish they leaned into that more, because I think if they had, they may have come up with something a little bit more cohesive and better. But they don't. I mean, it's titled that, but they never really delve into it, other than, like, I think, insinuating some things, again, poorly at that.
Well.
Should we dive into the scene by scene?
Yeah, I mean, I have a rough outline,
mold.
So I guess you guys can just fill in when you want to add something. Like, I don't have, I didn't, obviously it's still in the cinema, so I don't have like a super deep breakdown right now. But yeah, it starts with an animation that John already mentioned, and I think the animation itself is neat.
Yeah.
But I am confused by it, because it feels like a recontextualization of what I thought what happened there. Because what happens is the Joker persona is like a ghost, and then there's like a second person who is, I assume, is supposed to be Arthur, obviously, that chases the ghost. It's kind of weird. Maybe they were trying to. I'm still trying to figure this out in my head. I think what they're trying to do is that Arthur wanted to be someone who wants to be seen, and obviously the culmination in the first movie was he wasn't in the Murray Show, and he did the whole thing with you get what you fucking deserve, and people see him now. But this is all like condensed or put together only in the context of the show. So I found it a bit confusing, because it looks like he's chasing the shadow of Joker, even though it kind of looked like he is the Joker at the end, becoming the Joker, as I already said. What do you guys think? I'm still a bit confused on that one. I do like the animation itself, though. I think it's awesome. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. My view of it is that I mean, first of all, it seems to be a sanitized retelling of the first movie, like the main events of the first movie. And also it kind of strips away all of the bad things that Arthur has done and just makes him look like a victim in all ways. So it's probably like the story he tells himself, of how he's been downtrodden, even though he is at least partially responsible for the things that he did. But it's like a very pro Joker retelling of the events of the first movie. And I mean, it's okay for what it is, but when I was watching it in the theater, I immediately got a suspicion that this movie was going to do something that I didn't like, and I was correct. And I think this movie, and it starts with the animation and it goes throughout the entire movie. This movie it has too much reverence for the first movie, right?
Hmm.
Because like they literally call the Joker steps in the movie at one point. And I'm like, okay, you got, I get
really?
it.
I didn't even catch
Yeah,
that.
they did. Yeah,
Oh, no.
they brought it up, and I'm like, okay, so you guys obviously understand that this was a meme out in the real world, and it's
Yeah.
labeled on Google Maps as the Joker steps, so I get it.
That's actually pretty
And
funny.
they have Joker do like the kick like 50 times, and I'm just like, okay, this is it. It kind of reminded me almost of when you watch like a new Ghostbusters, and it shows those like long sweeping shots of like the proton packs,
Mhm.
and it has this immense reverence for the stuff that came before. When in the first Ghostbusters movie, it was just like a thing they wore in their back, and it's like, oh, it's just a tool. And yeah, it's kind of cool, but like we have a job to do here, and they're not gonna like. Or like in Star Wars, it's like, oh, it's Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Look at it. Ooh, you know what I mean?
It's
Yeah,
red.
they kind of do that.
Brand.
They do that with a lot of the mimetic aspects of the first movie in this movie, and it's almost like they're too self-aware of the first movie. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a thing throughout the movie, isn't it? And it was, and it kind of annoyed me.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
that's the
yeah,
thing.
that was my take on it. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I actually missed that in the movie they referred to the steps as the Joker
Yeah, I
steps.
missed that too.
That's so
Yeah,
cringe.
it was
That
like
makes no sense.
it was a quick like throwaway line. Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
really.
no
In
one saw
in the
him
movie
do that
universe,
except
the
for
steps were
cops.
never sort of associated with that character. Like who
No, the
saw
o-
Joker dancing
only
on
the two
steps for this to
detectives.
become a thing?
Those two detectives
Yeah,
must
and-
have gone around. It's like, dude, those are the Joker steps after they got
Yeah.
brutally assaulted in the subway.
I mean, I guess it kind
maybe
of
they
makes sense
said
because
when we saw him, he was dancing on some steps as if there was music playing, and he just looked like an idiot.
yeah, and I mean, like they do make it clear that everything associated with the Joker has now almost become deified as a result of him being so popular, right? Because he has like the TV movies, and everyone
Yeah.
knows who he is, and there's like T-shirts, and so like I get it, but in a real world way, it's kind of lame because the Joker steps are a meme, like in real life.
Well, I think that's
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with you guys on this a little bit
Okay.
because I mean I think that's the point where I mean you said he's been deified in this universe as I mean even people celebrating him out there and telling him hey we're cheering for him like that was the point is that they made this whole documentary series on him. I think there was a book too about it like maybe I'm wrong about the book but the TV movie and documentary like it's likely in that. Now again, you have to like make the assumption that it is, but it wouldn't be, a far cry to think like if everyone's watching this that it becomes that. Now it's a different era, right? Like memes aren't as popular and
Yeah.
they still exist, but I mean,
Yeah, memes. They weren't referred to as memes probably as specifically, but every era had its memes.
but you have people who celebrate these people like, this is an unfortunate victim, the system beat him down. All these people, they all look similar to Arthur in that like they're the lower class. Like, fighting the fight, and then if they, if that's the story that's in that, or the detectives are saying like, oh, first time we saw this guy, he's all in makeup, he's coming down the stairs dancing and kicking and blah blah blah. It stands to reason it could be in there.
Yeah,
Is
if
it
I'm-
cringe?
If
Yes,
if I'm charitable, I mean, if they made like a documentary about them and they interviewed the two detectives and they kind of talk about it, I can see that we somehow get to the conclusion that some fucker in the on the telly was like, "Oh, these are the Joker steps," and they put it in
Right.
the documentary. So it can happen, but
If-
I think it's still
well-
cringe.
Right.
Also, I mean, like just thinking about those detectives and like being the only eyewitnesses to the Joker steps, which clearly were referred to others. Why didn't we see those detectives on the stand in the fucking court with like fucked up faces or like one short an eye or something?
Mm.
You know, that might have been cool.
Yep.
Also, keep going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, John,
Yeah.
playing any good video games these days? wanna put
Regarding
forward
the
a clear
cartoon,
Joker
just quickly,
stuff.
like that.
Oh,
that-
yeah,
I think that was actually my favorite part of the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, the
it's-
animation was
it's-
really
it's-
good. Oh, hi, X-Ray Girl just rated. Thanks, X-Ray Girl. I have your
And it
dog. Or-
it gave me high hopes because like there is something good in this, like there is some thematic stuff here that really has potential. I like the essential dilemma of him, Arthur Fleck, like is Joker just some wacky manifestation that's not real, or is that the real you? And that's quite nicely established in the beginning with like Lady Gaga sort of egging him on, saying, "No, you are Joker. That's the real you. I want to see the real you." And but like the key to him getting escaping prosecution is to admit that he was ill and that's not him. So like there's a cool internal dilemma for Arthur there, but it doesn't end in a way that is at all satisfying. I don't think I don't know what I'm meant to walk away with at the end of it, and I don't know what it contributes to the Batman universe. Like it just feels like just deliberately underwhelming and disappointing by the end.
Right. Yeah. See, I like what the movie sets up, and I don't like how it ends, and I do wish they went another way with it. But I still have my emo gland squeezed by the nihilistic ending, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind
we've
if a
been
movie or
X-rated.
game or
Hello.
whatever is like, excessively like nihilistic or bleak or whatever. I can like that sort of thing depending on execution. It just felt like here it wasn't really in service of anything, so it just felt like it felt a bit torture porny. Yeah.
See, I don't mind that though. I'm okay with torture porn. I know it's not for everyone, but it is for me, I guess.
I like the
Well,
first
right.
Hostel movie quite a bit.
Like
It
in the
would've been
case
nice
of
if it-
like something like Saw or Hostel, it's just like, okay, we all know what we're going to see here. Like this is just you're watching young people get killed basically, and it's
Hey, I think
supposed to be sort of tongue in cheek, like some.
to be
like,
fair, the part of Hostel which I find most satisfying is that the dude that escapes goes on like a little revenge mission at the end. It's pretty sweet.
I mean, the one thing that connects these two movies thematically, I think, is the torture porn aspect of it. Because one of the big takeaways of the first movie is that Arthur Fleck doesn't get to win. He is always a loser. He's eternally a loser. He'll never have a girl. He'll never have a decent life. He'll never have a good job. He'll never be healthy. He is the eternal loser. And that just continues in this second film, like pretty much perfectly. So,
Yeah.
it's okay. I get it. Yeah.
It's
Mm.
true.
We're just watching someone have a shit life until they die. It's okay. I understand what they do.
I do
think,
wish
though,
that
that, like-
these.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
just wish the torture areas that we were talking about too, and even his losing, like, was just like there's times where I thought, like, why did this just happen? Like, I get it could have happened, but it just, like, one scene in particular, like he makes a joke with Brendan Gleeson, and he like slaps him on the back, and then for seemingly like no reason at all, he just like socks him even harder in the back. I'm like, what? Just, I mean, I get he's in
Well,
prison and he's a prisoner.
I think-
but, like,
I
think
think
that-
that makes
I
perfect sense
like
to me.
that. Actually, I thought that was pretty good.
I think as
I
a
mean,
prisoner, he stepped over the line there. He,
Yeah,
like, that,
he got
that's
too
physical
familiar.
contact and
I-
it's not appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
yeah.
that was actually okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's not
Wait,
just
wait,
that.
where,
it's
where
that-
are you guys right
well-
now? Or just randomly going
I know
through?
that
I
was a
just-
big jump forward.
Oh, okay,
but,
I
I mean to
it-
do that.
It's like halfway through the
It
movie.
was-
Yeah.
No, it's all
where he
good.
tells-
I was catching up.
Yeah, where he tells him a joke, he gives him the cigarettes,
I
and
gotcha,
then
I gotcha.
what does Arthur do exactly? Does he like tap him on the
Well,
back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Well,
like,
what
just-
happens
a little, like,
is the guard slaps Arthur on the back friendly first,
Yeah,
and then
And then
Arthur slaps the guard on the back as like a reciprocal thing.
yeah.
And then the
he
guard just hauls
whacks
off and
the back
slugs
of his
him.
head.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like it's just like
And
oh,
I-
but at the same time you're like, yep, oh yeah, you're
Mhm.
still in
Yeah,
prison.
see, I actually like that scene because it shows that like the guard, like it's the most overt display up until that point. That although the guards are like acting friendly with him, it's just an act, and they're just playing with him, and they actually fucking hate him. And it's
Yeah.
like, listen, I can pretend to be friends with you because it's fun for me, but you can't actually believe that. You can't actually do this because we're not friends. And in fact, I'm going to abuse you whenever I want. So that scene shows that. I think it's actually a pretty good scene for that.
Okay, I can see that. I'll concede that point for sure.
so-
Sorry to jump so far ahead.
Oh, it's all good.
This
it's all good.
isn't a debate. We're just talking about what we feel about the movie.
No, yeah,
I
no,
just
and
think
it-
it's funny that you zeroed in on like one of the scenes I actually did like. I was like,
of course, of course.
The oh, we only mentioned the animation, but yeah, we basically just see him a short day to day of Arthur because he's now in Arkham Asylum. And yeah, they start their day. They're all locked up. They go out. They have to empty their poop buckets or whatever they were.
Those are poop buckets.
Put on some
Chamber
clothes,
pots.
get their medication, and then do their thing. Basically, it's just a short little thing that shows us what's up. But today, oh yeah, obviously the guards. They're like, I mean, you guys just talked about it a little bit. The guards have like this facade of being kinda nice to the inmates a bunch of times, like, yeah, we're doing little sing songs, like, hey, tell me a joke, Arthur, ha ha ha. But obviously, way later in the movie, we see they're not very nice, to say the least.
Yeah, they're the villains, arguably.
They're not very nice, yeah. And yeah, they just kind of go around, and he has a meetup today with his lawyer, where they try to make their case for an insanity case. Basically, they want to go to trial, but first they need to. They have been figuring out if he's is it competent? What's the term competent
Yeah, it's
for
competent.
trial
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yep.
And that's what they've been figuring out. We also see that Arkham is split into like a criminal psych ward and like a, I guess you just call them psych wards that are not criminal, just normal psych wards, I guess.
Like addiction kind of things. Yeah. There's like, I mean, I think they just call them like group homes maybe, or like.
yeah, sorry, I
but
don't know what the proper term for
A
those
mental
is.
health facility. It would still probably
Yeah.
be asylum in this context.
Yeah, but
Arkham
like
Asylum.
one half is the criminal one where they're locked up, and the other
Yeah.
one is where they sing songs in the halls.
Well, the ones for people who have mental health, but have not, mental health issues, but have not committed any crimes. yet.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or they have like
it's
addictions, or non-violent. Yeah.
Which obviously, if you know Arkham Asylum from DC Comics, that's normally not how this facility works. But I don't mind. I don't mind the change. I just find it interesting. It's like, oh, that's a new one. There's like a normal part of this facility. It's
the
kind of
weird
fun.
the weird part to me is that there's any shared hallways and stuff. Like there's no reason why Arthur should be walking by the Glee Club.
That's true, yeah. Maybe the lawyer didn't want to go to the crazy people ward with the criminals, and they put him here or something.
Right.
Maybe I don't know that they'd be walking the criminals past the like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
especially if there's like women there and stuff. It's like, wow,
Right.
man, like this could go bad.
But yeah, this is where he lays eyes upon Lady Gaga for the first time. Obviously, she's
Case in point.
Harley Quinn here, but I just kept calling her Lady Gaga because my brain just works that way.
We'll understand that. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
I don't think anyone will be confused by you calling her.
No,
Lady
no.
Gaga. We can proceed.
Wasn't really Harley Quinn in the classical sense anyway. Like if she had, this is where I kind of wish she had been. They do mention that she has a understudy or whatever in psychology,
Mhm.
but it would have been nicer to see them sort of share the space and watch her sort of flip into psychosis, because that would have made the title seem a little bit more. It would have made more sense along with his own, shadow demons. But I agree with all what you're saying. Is just sort of like, oh, we're walking this crazy, dangerous criminal right by these totally innocent, nice people just singing
Yeah.
songs.
But yeah, it's just a quick look, and they look at each other, and they're very excited apparently. But before we do anything with this, he and the lawyer have a bit of a talk, and this is where we learn that they have a hearing soon where we see if he's competent for trial or fit for trial, and they want to plead an insanity case with split personality, and they want to do the case that way. I think that's basically it. Just add on if I forget anything, because this is mostly for memory. Here in my notes. And yeah, he's like sitting there in the hearing, and he's basically just normal Arthur for the most part. Like there's no Joker personality coming through. They even like treat him like it's like two different people. Like at some point she says, "Oh, does the Joker want to talk to us right now?" And he's basically silent for the most part. He's more interested in just having a cigarette because everyone is still smoking like there's no tomorrow in this movie. It's almost a meme to me how much they smoke in these movies. It's kind of funny to me.
I did think
it fits the aesthetic,
lead
though.
up. I did think the lead up to this point of the movie was established. Like it seemed to establish the control the medication might have over him, or maybe just his experiences in Arkham. But I don't think he said a word up until he said, "Can I have a cigarette?" Really, I don't.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't think he
the
did.
guards even trust like, "Oh, you got a joke for us today, Arthur?" And he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems
Yep.
like that's been a taunt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's been a long time since the Joker here has even been up for telling a joke, even though he knows he gets a cigarette if he tells one, and he clearly wants them.
Yep.
Yeah, and
So it is the scene. This is one of the scenes is one of the main reasons why I think that the meds like play a heavy part into the Joker persona coming out, because the way that the scene is shot and the way that the court psychiatrist or psychologist is acting. There's like a film and a TV trope where like there's a person who is a psych, and they come in and they're very like understanding and they're very empathetic and they're trying to like talk to someone who's a terrible criminal, and the way that it's shot, and it happens in a lot of things, and it's happening here in this movie as well. The way that the whole sequence is shot is to basically show that the psychologist has no fucking clue what they're talking about. You know, they're like, "Oh, does the Joker want to come out and talk to us?" And it's almost like it's patronizing, you know, because
Right, yeah.
and Arthur's just sitting there like looking at her and looking at the camera like, "Is this bitch for real?" Like she has no clue what's actually going on, and
Yeah.
that's a pretty common film trope, I think. It's just like the naive psychologist, and they play it pretty well here. And this is why I think, by the way, that it's not a dual personality thing. It's more of a medication thing, because of just like it's what you mentioned before, where the Joker doesn't want to tell jokes anymore, and he's not like earning his cigarettes anymore, and also just the way that Arthur, even on his meds, treats the psychologist with utter disdain in that scene.
Trying to remember, there was something else that happens here. Oh, I think she asks about his mom, right? And he basically he says like, oh yeah, they talk about how she and him they watch the Murray show together, and how much she liked the show, and it's like, oh, nice white teeth he had and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, do you hear the voices often in your head? And he says like all the time, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And so
And this is
Yeah,
while
that
on-
whole scene, it was just that whole scene was like dripping with you know veiled condescension from
Yeah.
Arthur towards the psychologist. It was a great scene, by the way. It worked.
oh, most of the scenes are like really well acted. I don't even think that's a question. The acting in this movie is really good. Joaquin Phoenix is just fantastic. Lady Gaga too. She does a great job too. I was very surprised, very happy with her performance. Oh yeah, she asked like if he saw like bright lights or something like that. And the reason I point this out is he later parrots that phrasing to like an interviewer. We're trying to be like a bit more open with how he's feeling right now, and he just kind of parrots I just saw bright lights and I don't remember anything, and that he
Blacked out.
yeah, and that he only remembers the music on the show.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that I did end up looking up when I came home after the movie. The common view of split personalities back in like the 80s, and we know it's not true now.
Right.
But the common view back then by psychs is that like the person blacks out and doesn't experience what's happening, and they see like darkness, or they see bright light, or you know they have like whiffs of scents or smells, or like snippets of music, or they hear a little bit, but they're mostly unconscious, right?
Mhm.
We know that's not how it works now, but that was how it was viewed as back then. So it almost feels like she's trying to coach him. It's like, so you saw this, right? Because you want to, you actually want to be deemed incompetent and not have to go to trial, right? So like that's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's the lawyer lady. She obviously wants to win the case, and I guess the split personality is like the best thing they have, and it's like a through line in the movie as well, because they basically all still look past Arthur, and she just sees him as another case and wants to win the case. So it's like, oh, this is clearly split personality, right? And it's like, not really, but we want to win the case, I guess. That's what that feels like to me.
Yeah,
at
it was
least.
never about helping him. It was just about like some point somewhere, and he, eventually catches on to
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, that's what's happening right now, and we'll soon be doing a bunch of things in a courtroom. But before that, we are following Arthur into the yard where they just hang out. And this scene, I just remember it, and I just found it really confusing. I actually have no idea what the reason is, except making the guards and people look like dicks. So he's just hanging out. He's like kind of crouched down, and then this character called Ricky, he's like, "Hey, the other one said you're gonna show me how to kiss," and then he gives him a kiss on the mouth, and then he leaves. And I was like, "Whoa, Ricky never knew what hit him." And then he goes to the guards and he gets a cigarette. And I was like,
mean,
what just
I
happened?
suppose
I don't get
it
it.
does kind of establish that the guards are not beyond sexually exploiting Arthur.
I guess.
Hmm.
I just was really
yeah,
confused.
like, I mean, it's only like I wouldn't have thought that probably until the scene that happens later on.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
That's
I don't
all
have
I can
anything
think of
better.
after that.
I was just really confused that this was in the movie. I was like, okay, guess we did this. Because after this, he goes to the guards and they tell him about, oh, they made this TV movie about you. Do you still feel like a star? And I think this is like the first time where we start nudging him back towards the Joker persona, because we need to get back to that. Because he's kind of like, he looks pleased. It's like, oh, they made a movie about me. That's exactly what I like. So I want to be seen. That's awesome.
So the guy that he kissed, was that the guy who ended up like following around
Yes.
him around like,
Yeah.
like religiously in the middle of the movie?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Just out of curiosity, I don't remember. Was that the guy who ended up stabbing him at the end of the movie?
No.
No,
Was it the same? No,
That's
Okay.
the guy.
For some reason, I
he
thought it
kissed-
was.
The guy he kissed here is the guy who gets strangled at the end by the guards, because he just starts following him around. The guy we see there, he's got, I think, one scene before the end. He's like in the background. We have like a close-up shot on him for like a couple of seconds, and he's basically a non-factor in this movie up until the ending.
they do a very
Right, yeah.
teeny bit of foreshadowing with him, and
Yeah.
it's like if you didn't catch it, you just. But it's such a throwaway moment where, like, I think it was in that right after the musical number.
Yeah.
Like his first one, he's like dancing or not dancing. He's just walking around the room. After that, like the camera kind of pans to him, like sort of like grimacing at Arthur, and then that's it. You don't really see him for the rest of the film.
Yeah, he might be in
And
the
that's why,
background
like-
somewhere, I could imagine, but
Yeah.
there's no focus on this guy up until the ending scene. Yeah.
Yep. I did think that that whole scene with him, the guards saying, "Oh, kiss him and get a cigarette, whatever." I think that was more. It was less about their maybe like quote unquote sexual proclivities and more just like how awful. I mean, it's both, I guess, but like
not so much proclivities, more so that like they knew they could humiliate Arthur like that.
yeah, there's just it's like
they
how
could make
evil
him piss
people. Yeah, how
by
evil
just saying
people are in
kiss
this
that guy,
world.
Yeah, it's just like,
and-
look how much of a bully these guards are. So they tell this guy, and then they have like a bet going. I assume they had a bet. I don't know if they actually did, but you hear them talk in the background. It's like, oh, let's see what he does. I want to see how he reacts, basically.
Yeah.
So they kind of just fuck around, it feels like.
And then Arthur just not even caring anymore. He's just like, I just want to feel something. And a cigarette just seemed, like it. I think he just doesn't, to some extent, just didn't care anymore.
So yeah, that's. Then he just leaves, and we see him next. Oh yeah, apparently he somehow made everyone agree that he gets to go to the singy song place where he saw Lady Gaga, because he got so horny that this is what he wants to do, I assume. Because he didn't really, I mean, he normally cares about music, but I think in this instance he's more like, hey, she was kind of looking at me, and I have delusions about having a girlfriend all the time, so maybe this is my
and
chance.
she even did the sign language thing of the girl I had the delusions about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she did like the thing with the
The
pistol
gun.
thingy, right?
Well, what I
But
remember is it's the guard that bullies him comes up and offers to bring him to the music class. And he has like this smile on his face. I think he was intending to humiliate him further. That was the offer. It's like, you're going to come to the music class, but I know it's not going to be good for you. And I'm going to laugh at you while I see you awkwardly in here.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
that-
that might
That's
be.
what it
Yeah.
seemed like to me. Yeah.
maybe, but what's weird about this is that so that's when he says that, and I think, oh, is he being nice to him all of a sudden? And like, but like as it kind of goes on, as his experiences with like music and stuff go on, Jackie notices that like Arthur's embracing this and almost seems happy about it. Not like he's upset that like his plan was foiled, which I thought, wait, what's going on here? And it's only when like Arthur like somewhat humiliates him that all of a sudden that's all broken down, right? And we know what happened. We'll get to that scene.
Yeah.
But that's why I thought like why is he doing this? You know, I mean, there's no motivation to put him in.
Doesn't
Like we were
he-
missing scenes, you know? There was no motivation to just put him in there all of a sudden.
Doesn't the guard do some singing himself at some point when he's talking to Lady Gaga? Maybe he just wants to slack off on the job.
Maybe. But still, it seems like a flimsy reason to bring like one of the most dangerous people to a very safe area, you know?
Now, someone in chat says the same thing about the movie part. He just wants to slack off and watch the movie. Because later on, he goes and lets him watch a movie, and apparently, I could imagine he just wants to watch a movie himself, and he's like, "Oh, I need to look out for Arthur, so I unfortunately have to watch the movie, and unfortunately have to go to the sing-song class." So I can see
Yeah.
that being a thing as well.
Yeah, it could be. It's just a weird thing to do when ultimately the guards hate this guy, and like like they could have brought anyone else, but they brought him. So that's where the discontinuity and even like, you know, weird choices, like, oh, we need this moment to happen because we don't have Harley as a psychologist, so we need him to go to her, and this is the only way to get him there.
Right.
So
I mean,
or right.
I can give you like a weak steel man for this. It's not a very strong one, I admit, but I do think that maybe what they could have done basically is the initial contact with Arthur to the music group was meant to be a mockery on behalf of the guard, but then basically because he showed that he had like good behavior, that the higher ups let him keep doing it, even though the guards necessarily didn't like it. That's probably what happened if I had to steel man it.
Yeah, just maybe have
That
more than
makes-
one
that
scene
makes some sense.
in
I-
the thing. Yeah.
I think I'm okay with Dev's argument on it.
I mean,
think
yeah,
that's-
I'm just elaborating on it. Just have more.
Ah.
I mean, that's what you said, right? Have more than one instance of him being there, because we basically have the one scene singing and then they bond immediately, instead of
Yeah,
having
and
them
then
like.
and then
getting
he's at the
close out of
movie, right? You probably need one more scene where it's like, you've been good recently, Arthur. You want to go see a movie tonight? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think just having more scenes, montage, whatever works best, I guess. Just him going to this class and just starting to have like a little bit of a good time, and then yeah, just getting closer with Lady Gaga and then talk this way. But obviously, she's a bit more loony, and that's all. It's all gonna go a bit quicker, I guess, because of that. Because they talk right after the sing-song class is over. He's just kind of waiting outside for the guard to be ready to bring him back. But he just walks up to Lady Gaga and they just kind of talk. And it's like, hey, we did these horrible things, both of us. And we also learned that they don't know he killed his mother by smothering her to death on the deathbed. What do we think about that? Wouldn't they be able to tell someone smothered her to death? Maybe it's just me. I was a bit surprised by that.
That depends. I mean, like, like if she struggled and it left marks, maybe.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I mean, respiratory depression, if you're old and sick and
Right.
hospitalized anyways, like that can happen, right? So you might get away with it without like forensic investigation. Probably wouldn't get away with it now, everybody. Like, science is better.
Yeah.
And generally
do that.
these places are
During
not.
like a modern autopsy, you would find like fibers in the nose and
Right.
the mouth and the
Right.
throat and stuff. But like, I don't know about the sophistication of forensics and autopsies
you
back in the early '80s, which is
Yeah,
where
that's
this
fair.
movie roughly takes
a
place.
hospital
so.
a a hospital now would also have much better surveillance. So someone mysteriously walking in before a person died and then walking out would probably be not so great for you. So
Yeah.
Did it
just
happen in the
because I
hospital?
said
I thought it happened
Arthur
in
might
his
get away
living
with it
room.
doesn't mean you should strangle
No,
anyone.
no, that was in the hospital when shortly
okay.
after
Oh, my bad.
he learns that he's adopted and has been
Right. Yeah.
has been fucked with. He goes like, "Oh, you've been fucking around with me," and then he just fucking smothers her to death. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
I
something
mean, it could also just be another part of it could be, you know, she's poor, no one cares. Oh, another old lady died, whatever. Like no
yeah,
one
it
just
could
cares
also
to
be
look
they're
into
like, "Oh, guess the
Yeah.
bed is open now. Let's throw her out the window or something."
Yeah.
turn her into
You know what's
Soylent.
interesting about like all those like little theories we just came up with like the first one, all that speculation works well within the film, and like, but the second one you can't do that. It almost seems too strawman-y to like, oh well, it could be this thing, you know, maybe if we like remove it a couple times from it could be this weird situation. Like that's the problem I have with one of the problems I have with Joker 2 is even these great moments, like you almost can't justify them because they just quite don't work. For the other ones, you can like the other movie, you can speculate on the things that happened that weren't explicitly told, or
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. Like, and that's
the thing
kind
with
of a bummer.
this one existing. It just tries to explain a lot of things, which was like
Yeah.
a cool thing about Joker 1 ending with like the ending where he's in the psych ward and he's like what I assume is in his head still, killing the one lady at the end and then having the bloody footprints and getting chased around. So there's a lot of discussion like, oh, is he going to become the Joker or not? Is he going to get away? Is he not going to get away? This is all just out of the window now. This is not going to be discussed anymore, really, because we now have the answer, because we have the ending and see what happens to him in the end.
Right.
So this ambiguity, I think, is the word I'm looking for. That you have at the end is just mostly it's just gone. It's just gone because we know we have the end of Arthur Fleck in this movie. So that's just a shame because this is one of the cool things about this movie. You can just see it's like, oh my, you could speculate what happened to him after the movie, but now we know, and it's a bit lame. It's a bit lame.
Yeah, the ambiguity of the ending of the original, and along with that, the symbolism and the metaphor, like that's all.
Yeah.
It feels like that's all really lacking here. Like the ending of the first one, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
Joker
like, yeah,
to
yeah,
Arthur all along.
Yeah, it's like you have the one shot of Bruce that's sort of the antidote of the whole thing. That is sort of this manifestation of order in absolute disarray in chaos. And then you have like him sort of scampering around the hallway, escaping from orderlies, which is symbolic of this idea that madness will always find a way to escape out into the world and manifest itself. But then you have like somebody like Batman to balance it out. And now all that symbolism and metaphor is like really, it's gone here, especially by the end.
Yep.
Absolutely. But yeah, they keep on talking, and yeah, he tells her it's like, oh, I actually killed my mother too, but they don't know that. And she's like, oh man, when I saw you as Joker on the telly, I didn't feel so alone. I felt connected, and all I was thinking is, oh, I hope you blow his brains out, and then you did. And I've been basically enamored ever since. And you can the whole thing is like, oh, they don't feel so alone anymore. She doesn't feel so alone anymore, and he feels attracted to her immediately. And this is where we get one of the first quote unquote songs, because this is one of more of the how I think Mahler put it at some point like talk singing, like a sing talking, like they just re-say
Conversational singing.
Yeah, they just mumble
Conversational
through the
singing.
lyrics.
Yeah.
I found those parts really annoying, to be honest.
Yeah, and this is just what we talked about earlier. It's like, oh, we already understand what happened here, but then they do the song piece and just reinforce it basically by saying the same thing. There's not really a lot of new information, if any, in these song places. Well, they
and
can be
I
fun
think-
and they have like cool sets. It's like, okay, yeah, but I get it though. Like I got it already. You did already a pretty good job of showing us by the dialogue and how they look at each other. It's like, okay, I get it. And then we just get the scene right after with the singing. Go ahead, Mark.
I gotta find a way to word this without sounding like I'm defending the mumble singing too much, but I think that the idea was that they're trying to not make much noise because guards can hear because they're still in like the diegetic reality when they're singing like that. And then when it turns into the bigger stage production things, then they're like, you know, they're using their chest voice and like actually singing. I actually think this movie might have been better if you just cut the actual production scenes and just made their relationship being built by like trying to quietly sing to each other for
Okay.
like
Yeah.
one or two lines and then on to the next scene. Whereas I found that the big problem with these musical sequences, with the exception of one, I think the one right before he fires his lawyer, like the I'm Joker one. I don't know what the name of the song is or anything. I haven't like looked.
Is
up
it the one
track
where he
list.
bashes the judge over the head with the hammer?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that.
That was the best one in the movie. Yeah.
Well, because it was the only one that functioned the way a musical sequence should in a musical, where it actually had some thematic story and character element to it. Like there was something happening in it. The story was being advanced by that song, whereas all the rest of them just kind of seemed like, yeah, we had this little scene where they're like, you know, singing to each other quietly in the asylum to build this little relationship they have that's based on music, which does have some thematic resonance from the first movie with Arthur's relationship to music. But now we're just doing a song where we're singing a pop tune from like the 70s or 60s or like a
So
Motown
you're-
song or something, and it doesn't really do anything. It's just now there's an extra 5 minutes on this movie.
You're mostly correct, but there is one other song that actually serves to move the plot forward, and it's the one that they sing as they're burning the asylum down and then running out to meet the reporters. That one
Yeah, I guess
also
so.
serves to move the plot forward too. But yeah, that's also my complaint is that most of the time the songs in this they just like cut away to a stage and they're just singing on a stage and it's like, okay, I get it, but what does that have to do with anything? Oh, nothing, it turns out.
Well, and like I was saying earlier, I think they could have solved a lot of these problems with, like, I guess you could even call it a continuity problem. Like when most musicals, when they're going, like the people, it's not like they know it's a musical, right? They use, as you said, Dev, earlier, is that they use song to advance the plot. So it's not a problem. Like, oh, they're in prison, they need to be quiet. Well, it doesn't matter because we're advancing plot at this point. It's not a keeping it secret thing. It's just this is a way to tell story. But they could have made it much more entertaining and brought the audience in with like even a simple light dim, like just put like even soft spotlights on both of them or something. Like it was totally like a miss in production. I feel like in some areas where like the courtroom scene was like the perfect musical number because it did bring you into that moment of, okay, he's here in costume, but now all of a sudden this is him fantasizing about what he really wants to do. And it was awesome because the audience felt like they were there. Whereas the other, like even the talking singing scenes, you can do this, but you need to bring us in there with them, like bring us into that moment. And especially in a film like this that's so dark and dreary, like you want to feel like you're in like right next to them listening to what they're saying, you know, make it bring the atmosphere in, if that makes sense. Like it, but they didn't, they missed it. They did it a couple of times, but they missed it very often.
Yeah.
I guess what I've been saying this whole time about the musical numbers is there is a way this could have worked.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
totally.
it's there. It's just I don't think they did it.
they just kind of half committed only, if even. It's like, yo, we're doing some sing things because the music stuff in the first one was pretty cool. And then they went here, it's like, we need to put the music back in focus. But then they just kind of put it in, I guess. It's like, oh, we have this scene and we have a fitting song for this. So we would have put this song here and make a little musical act out of it. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But you could have done it without already telling us what happened. It would have been much more interesting if we just had the song instead of them saying what's happening and then have the song repeat that what's just happened. You know what I
Right.
mean? It just seems redundant in a lot of places.
This film almost needed like a little like Baz Luhrmann pizzazz to it. I feel like you like had a little bit more of that, maybe.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
yeah.
I feel like the songs in Moulin Rouge, even though they were all like pop tunes, like not written for the movie in most cases at least, they did kind of have story elements happening.
Right.
Like the plot advanced or character relationships advanced during the musical sequences. They weren't just a break from the movie to have
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga do a little musical number.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to like the set pieces more, but with the knowledge that they're all happening in Arthur's head, it all just felt inconsequential. You
Right.
know, like, and there's some
Um,
cool action stuff. You know, like the guy getting hit on the head with the hammer. That's a great thing, and the guy getting the shit beaten out of him with the stool.
Yeah.
Like that's cool, but this isn't really happening. So eventually, we're
Yeah.
just gonna go back to the regular courtroom, and then it's like, okay, and on with the story. That was fun anyway, and it's just like it
Yeah,
doesn't
like-
contribute to the thing. Like if you stripped all the way all the musical set pieces away, you'd be left with a movie that really doesn't have any momentum. Like
Yeah.
when the hospital gets set on fire, I was thinking, okay, they're hitting the streets, like shit's gonna happen. But then they get recaptured, and then it's just about Arthur waiting for his court date, and then he's just sitting in court,
Yeah.
and that's so much of the rest of the movie.
Well,
I
Like,
think
it's
it's
up to the very end. But
I think
Yeah,
it
I
would be interesting to maybe touch upon what I guess what maybe I thought was gonna happen, because when they started escaping, basically, is, oh, they're gonna be like on the streets now for, I don't know, days or a week or something, and they're gonna do all kinds of chaos because they have all these worshippers going on. It's gonna be a big old mess, and they're gonna do like they're like this duo. They're gonna do like dancing and sing to the people, and they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, Joker, kill all these rich people, eat the rich, whatever. But they just get captured again, and then we just do the trials. Like, that's not what I thought was gonna happen, really. You know what I mean? I thought we get way more of the Joker outside doing crazy stuff, embracing the thing, and then we still can go back at the end. It's like, oh, they actually don't care about Arthur; they care about Joker. You know, they could have had scenes with this. That's what I thought was gonna happen in this movie, but I mean, that didn't happen. But that's what I thought we were gonna do, because that felt like the most logical continuation
Definitely
of where
is-
we went.
It's even the most logical way to justify why this movie had a $200 million budget. Like there were like 3 sets, guys.
That's true. Yeah, it should
There's
be probably mentioned.
prison,
This movie
court,
was quadruple the price of
soundstage.
making. The budget was 200 million, which is insane, because it
There's
looks good.
explosions.
It looks good, but not $200 million better. You know what I mean?
With I believe Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga collectively costing like the 42, I think, million, something like that. I think I did the math yesterday when I heard it, but not even close to a portion of 200 million. Like at most a quarter.
It doesn't
like
look
a
like
50
it'll
million
come
for the
close to
actors.
breaking even.
Well,
Probably not,
probably
no.
not, and I don't think Todd Phillips really cared. Like, people actually have a friend in a group chat I'm in who his theory is that this is Todd Phillips, who in Road Trip there was a man named Tom Green in it, and this is basically Todd Phillips doing a Freddy Got Fingered. Does anyone catch that reference? Okay, so there was a Tom Green comedy made
Right,
in
yeah.
early 2000s.
I remember it, but I
Where-
don't know.
Remember the movie, I just don't know the
It-
reference.
like
Yeah.
Tom Green was just getting money thrown at him from all these things because he was like the big kind of meme comedian at the time that was doing all these like weird.
Oh, it's Adam
pranks
Sandler
and-
right now, then basically. Yeah, I get it.
Well, no, but not more like Johnny Knoxville, I'd say. Like it was more that
Okay.
kind of deal. Where it's just like anything you want to do, no matter how crazy, we're gonna throw money at you to do it. And he just intentionally made an incredibly disgusting bad movie, but it's kind of funny in just how extreme it gets. And his idea was like, yeah, you can throw this much money at me, and like, look what I'm gonna do with it, because kind of fuck Hollywood in a way. And like, so I have a friend whose theory is that this is like Todd Phillips' kind of protest movie in a way. Where
Okay.
he, like,
Fuck you, you're making me
intentionally
make a
gets-
sequel I don't want to make.
Yeah, sort of. So give me a whole bunch of money, and I'm gonna waste a bunch of it, not really put much of it on screen, and yeah, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off too. So they're
Yeah,
not
it's
even
like-
gonna like you for it.
Hey Todd, can you make another movie? We didn't really like how people like why people like this other movie, or we think they like it for the wrong reasons. And he's like, not really. I think it's pretty good. We'll give you 200 million. Oh, you know what? I just got an idea. Let's do a musical.
For the record, everybody, I'm not defending that position. I'm just saying that it is a possibility.
Okay,
Although Freddy
there,
Got
there was
Fingered,
one
like,
thing
yeah,
that you said
it's
earlier
a watch.
that I want to touch
I've seen
on.
it. It's weird.
Touch
Go
it.
ahead.
Yeah, there's one thing you said earlier that I want to touch on, but now I kind of forget what it was. Shit.
There are a lot of things.
One topic back before Freddy Got Fingered. What were you talking about?
Joker
the-
2.
The
Oh,
budget-
oh,
Story
the-
not
right.
essentially not
Primarily
having
budget.
momentum, or
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I can't remember now. So the thing about the musicals is that when I was watching this with Naomi, she was under the impression that anytime a musical happens, it's not actually happening in the canon of the movie. Like these things aren't happening, right? Which and it kind of makes sense because like if you cut away to a stage and it's
Mhm.
Lady Gaga and it's Joker singing and there's an audience, it's like okay, this is clearly not happening in reality. This is happening in their heads. Um, and the movie kind of establishes that as being the rules of the movie that these musicals aren't actually happening. The issue though is that around 2/3 of the way through the movie, um, some character points out that Joker and Lady Gaga were in fact actually singing to the reporters at the gates of Arkham.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Hmm.
musical actually did happen in real life,
Yep.
and
they
it
were
wasn't just
singing
in their
and
heads.
doing the
And
thing.
it's like, oh,
Yeah, like,
okay.
it gets a bit confusing in some parts. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is clearly in their head because they have like even the floodlights on them, and like, oh, this is like the set lights, you know, they're doing like a little thing. But then it's like when we get to this reporter, I think Patty is his name or whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
he shows them here's this paper clip, and it's like, oh shit, they have like a front page like, oh, crazy in love, and don't you think this was a bit much? It's like, oh wait, so they were dancing around? That was weird. Because at best, I would have thought it's like, oh, they're actually gonna do the musical things, like they're actually just running away together, but they pizzazz it up for the audience, like us watching. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
look, this is like the
Yeah,
musical,
advance the story.
which is like
and
what I
present
thought
it in
we
musical form.
what
Yeah,
this was
like,
going for overall in this
what
movie.
what you do is you have them like dancing in the lot, and then you'd have like, the guards in the tower like shine the lights on them, like
Yeah.
their spotlights, and then like at the end of the musical, they run away, and the guards are like clapping, and they're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
like that's what you do? That'd be the thing to do."
Yeah.
But it's like, nope, they didn't do it.
But yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean because I have that actually in my notes as well. I mean, we almost there anyway, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. But yeah, it's it gets confusing. It's like what is real, what is not. You need to be, I guess you need to be careful when you look at those, or pay attention rather. Not be careful, pay attention. That's what I was looking for. In any case,
One
Yeah.
of the reasons I was looking forward to the movie is that when I first watched the trailer, you see these sort of action clips, like I mentioned earlier, like the guy getting bonked with a hammer, or
Yeah.
like Joker and Harley having their own stage show, like highly produced. And I thought that Gotham was in such a state of disarray following the first film that these events could actually happen in the story. Like the court system is so fucked
yeah,
that Joker can go around bonking people with hammers and shit, and not like somehow I thought like how the fuck, like Gotham must be really fucked right now. So like that was one of the one of the things that appealed to me. So like when I watched the movie and I realized all these bits were happening in his head, that was a major disappointment to me. I was like, oh fuck, like none of that's actually happening.
yeah, because you could have done when they actually would have done the thing where they run away and they actually get out. You could have done these set pieces with the action by
Yeah.
having like he's actually committing terrible acts of violence, but they make it
With
like
Harley,
like
yeah.
a musical that's like looks like kind of goofy and comical. It's like hit them with like a big hammer or something, and he like shoots, but it does like a little pow flag that comes out,
This
and
is-
and
This
then
is
when
a way better movie.
and then when it's over, they just cut to the actual scene that happened. It's just a fucking slaughterhouse. There's blood everywhere. People have been bashed in with hammers and stuff. So we
Yeah.
don't see
Yeah.
the actual violence, but
like
we
those.
see the we see the cum of the blood. We see the culmination. We see the culmination of what happened in this musical bit, what happened in real life, and I think it would have been pretty cool. I would have liked that.
Yeah, if the last act of the movie was entirely music, like no dialogue, even up until it rolls credits, I honestly would be okay with it if it was just it becomes a musical and then it's Joker and Harley Quinn on a rampage until they're stopped. You know, like that could have been really awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh man, I want to see that now. That would be a good way to spend $200 million on a Joker sequel.
Yeah, see, I had the same feeling that you guys had when I watched the trailers. It's like, oh, they're gonna go on a rampage. He's gonna break out, and then they'll be like, maybe they'll have a sneaky courtroom scene where the judge that they're doing the Joker trial, but then like it turns out that the Joker's gang has temporarily overthrown the courtroom, and like the judge is walking, like the judge is like, oh shit, he looks up and like all the the bailiff is gone and there's no police and like there's a riot outside, and and like they have like this fake trial where the judge is still sitting up there, but he's not really in control of things anymore, and that would be the scene where the Joker beats him to death with the gavel. I think that's what most people thought when they saw the trailer to this movie.
Yeah.
Is that it was going to be some sort of like some sort of like anarchic style overthrow of the city of Gotham, almost like the third Dark Knight movie with Bane, like quasi kind of like that.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind of what
and,
happened at the
you know-
end of Joker, right?
Sure, yeah. And I mean, like I would have enjoyed that movie for sure, but I do think thematically, it works a lot better this way, just in terms of the Arthur Fleck never wins kind of through line of the story. I know. Here's the thing.
Like, Wait.
So
at the end in the
I
musical
know what you
version,
mean.
I'm
I know what you're
talking about.
getting
I'm
at.
fine with that.
No, I got you.
so basically, like what I'm describing, even though it works better, it's still a worse movie. It's like, but it makes more sense in line with the first movie theme of Arthur Fleck never wins.
Mhm.
The fact that it's actually all just in his head, and he's actually just a fucking loser who's going to prison, and he's just gonna get stabbed. Like, even though it makes for a worse movie, it makes more sense. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
I do.
got you.
Yeah.
I did have a good idea though. Make
okay.
your last song in our like fan fiction musical version of this, them like having Harvey Dent hostage or something, and it resulting in half his face getting fucked up. They kind of did that a little bit here. Like
They
showed
did.
the
They couldn't help
explosion.
themselves.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that one bone toss to the fans where Harvey Dent
Right.
is like all fucked up at the end. It's like, okay, I get it. I see it. I remember.
I just think if you went
I
hey,
clapped.
let's make this a wild, entertaining rampage thing, musical, full blown musical at the end with like really elaborate set pieces and stuff and songs that are like actually memorable. I think that having it be that the finale is them doing something to Harvey, being the guy who's been prosecuting him for the movie, might like I think that would have worked. I would have preferred that movie so much. I'm gonna be sad for the rest of the podcast. Everybody.
Well, back to
And someone in the
if-
chat is saying, "Dev, go watch The Last Jedi" or something.
Boo.
Honestly, this movie is kind of like The Last Jedi. I think. I mean, this movie is better than The Last Jedi was. But like the idea of a downtrodden Luke who walks away, you could do that story really well. It's just that they didn't. They did it very poorly. But it's not like it's
Yeah.
inherently a bad story.
I don't know. I still think you have to get us there first. You need to give us more stories of Luke where he's not that for us to believe he's given up to the level he gave up in TLJ.
Yeah, no,
Personally.
I agree.
But I mean, we
could
could talk. Like, we can't go into Star Wars.
No, we can't. We can't.
We'll never
Like,
get back to Joker.
Metal, was I on your channel talking about
Hmm?
Suicide Squad back like months ago? I think I was.
Suicide
a vague
Squad?
I have a vague remembrance of having a long
didn't-
conversation.
we
you
didn't
do
talk
Suicide
about
Squad?
Suicide. No, because I didn't play it. But maybe EFAP. Did you guys do an EFAP on it?
EFAP makes
I
No,
would've
no,
been on it,
I
but-
recall Mark, you and Metal being in the conversation with me about this. Not that it matters. that
We
much,
might
but
have. Oh, it might have
Is
been
it-
when we were doing.
Are you talking about the
Stellar Blade and we
game
were just
or the
talking about it.
movie?
the game. The game.
I'm thinking our Stellar Blade episode that Dev was on. We probably talked about Suicide Squad because that was around the same time, right?
Yeah, and maybe that's where it was. We had like an hour-long conversation about Suicide Squad,
Oh,
and
I
I
can talk
pointed out
about
in that
stuff
conversation.
around Suicide Squad. I just didn't play the game.
Well, because I'm pretty sure
lucky.
there wasn't there was no Forge. I did a rando rant about Kill the Justice League,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't think there was a Forge episode. I'm trying to check now, but I don't think there was.
I think it was probably just like an hour-long side conversation we had.
Yeah,
during the
it was-
Stellar
That
Blade
that's
episode.
very possible. Yes.
Yeah. So what I
Okay
remember
with
saying
you.
during that conversation with you guys is that you can have a story where the villains win and all the heroes are basically debased and then tossed out, and you just kind of laugh on their corpses and piss on their corpses. Like, you can have that story. It's just that one, it has to be done very well. And Suicide Squad, it wasn't done well. In Last Jedi, it wasn't done well. And in this, it's not really done that well.
I think once you start
and-
literally pissing on the superheroes' corpses, it's like I don't know if there's a way
Oh,
to do that. In a way
someone
that
chat
people
just
will
I
be
said-
think
okay
you can. I think
Someone-
you can do that well. I think you can do that well, but
Someone-
they didn't do it well.
Someone chat just says, "Was the extra credits EFAP about game prices going up?" Apparently.
Oh,
Okay, maybe it was that
There
too.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that
Um,
was
but also
a
secondly-
300 one, right? EFAP
possibly,
300.
yeah.
Like, did we do that there?
Maybe. I don't recall anymore. But my second point, though, is that you also have to be in the right broader cultural headspace to do that sort of subversion, right? Like people always go like subverting expectations, and like that's the meme, right? And you can do that, but one, you have to do it
Absolutely.
very well. It has to be done very well, and two, you have to already be in a culture that has like a consistent set canon, right? There has to be expectations to subvert before you can subvert expectations. And right now, since everything is a subversion, there are no real expectations. There is no stable cultural canon to fall back on. You know, you can't do an Elseworld story without having an established world to bounce off of. You know what I mean? And right now, everyone wants to be like a special snowflake and do their own subversion.
Mhm.
And it's now been like 10 fucking years of that, and there's no longer a stable cultural canon. So it all just feels like slop.
Yeah, I think we can mostly agree on that. Though you have your odd exceptions, like you got a franchise like Godzilla getting something like Godzilla -1, where rather than doing a subversion, they just kind of stick to a pretty straightforward hero's journey and tell a good story on a low budget that makes people feel things for the characters. Not
Yep.
super common in a lot of Godzilla films, especially the
So it's-
American ones.
It's like if you do like 50 straightforward heroes journeys and they're all pretty good, then you can come along with like one subversion
Yep.
story where it's not a hero's
Yes.
journey and everything's all topsy-turvy and you're like, oh, this is actually new.
Ooh.
you
You
can't
maybe
do that
make the
every single
argument to
time.
MCU might have done that with their first 3 phases up to Infinity War, and then Infinity War being that kind of subversion of like, oh yeah, they kind of lost and half of them died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stay tuned for Endgame.
Orange game. Okay, back to the movie.
There's the Joker.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We
Hey, we wrap back around to comics, okay? It's fine.
there you go.
Decent.
It was
There
all
we go,
planned.
there.
It's all in the
I
script
do
right
have
here.
I have one big critique, okay? And this
Only
is
if
like
it's
a
about
nerd
that.
continuity critique, but I'm still gonna stand by it because it's the only one that actually makes sense, and even in this context of it being its own world. During the trial, they announced that Gotham is in New York. It's a city in New York State.
Okay.
And that just doesn't fucking work because we all know there's only
I
one
mean-
city in New York State, and that's fucking New York City.
We even see the Twin Towers being built. Did you guys notice that?
Wait, really?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, the map of the U.S. in DC Comics is like it has a lot of trouble staying consistent. Like,
It does. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I-
drop some images here, just real quick, because they have consistently put Gotham City and Metropolis in this specific location on the border, the river between New Jersey and Delaware, where Metropolis is in Delaware and Gotham City is in New Jersey, in southern New Jersey. It's been
Jeez.
there consistently now for a long time because it's the only place that really makes sense for another large city to go in between Washington D.C. and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have like New York, there's like I think there's one other city in there, but like
I mean,
this
to
is
me,
the only
Gotham
spot
was
where you
always
can
kind
put
of
one.
a cross between New York and Chicago, though. So, but like, I guess like in general with the DC Comics universe, I tend to not pay attention to what the map looks like because it seems like every single version is a different one. You know?
I mean, here's another one, right? And I mean, Metropolis and Gotham are still in roughly the same locations. It's just one of those things where like, yeah, I get it. It's a fake made up city. It doesn't have to be in the same place every single time. You can hand wave it, but when you say specifically Gotham is in New York, that really breaks the suspension of disbelief. If you just didn't mention what
Well,
state it
I
was
mean,
in,
like,
fine.
this-
if you said
this
it was in New
Gotham-
Jersey, fine. But like,
I think though
Mhm.
this Gotham is so very clearly New York. Like it's almost one of those things. It's like, yeah, no, they just New York City is called Gotham in this version of DC Universe. Like I'm okay with that to a degree. It's like, yeah, it's just not called New York here. It's called Gotham City.
It's funny that's where those areas, that's where they paint those cities being, because like if anyone's ever been to those areas of like New Jersey, like they don't, like Atlantic City is a city and all and like gambling, but it doesn't look like a city like that. It's not like there's a lot of green surrounding Atlantic City in that area of New Jersey. So it's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
I have a fair amount of
that
trouble
location's actually just
with-
farmland. Yeah.
yeah.
Generally, I don't really like the idea of Metropolis and Gotham being all that close together because it sort of creates the why isn't Superman just helping with these situations?
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Can't get
he's
there fast
right
enough.
there. He's not even far away. I mean, I know he can move real fast, but I gotta say, it has to be a different request to say, "Hey, Soups, you want to like come to the next town over and help me out?" To, "Hey, I'm in Japan. You got time to fly around the world?" Like I could see, even though being Superman, him being like, "Well, yeah, it's pretty far, man."
Hey,
Like,
Soups,
when I was
can
a
you
kid,
punch
handle
Dr.
your
Freeze real
business.
quick? I'm busy.
When I was a kid, I always thought Metropolis was West Coast, and Gotham was East Coast. That was like when I was a kid reading some of the comics. That was always the idea I got, was that it was way more of a West Coast representation in Metropolis, and then Gotham was like the New York City dark.
That's kind of
dirty.
neat. I sort of
that's
saw
right.
it as Metropolis being New York and Gotham being Chicago is sort of like
Okay.
where I always kind of pictured it in my head. But like again, like I don't know, DC Comics map. I'm not obviously not the authority on here. I had
when you
no
say
idea
thing-
they were supposed to be that close together in most of DC. At least
I
the
was
dead-
told this
dead
by a
sector.
fan of mine maybe a year ago or so, but this is like the Google Maps of that location in real life. And Gotham would be about where Greenwich is, right there. It's like a small town. And there's like nothing there.
Granite.
But apparently, if you
Greenwich.
go to that small town, there's like a little plaque that says like this is Gotham City.
Mhm.
Like, oh, that's kind of neat.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Talking about Gotham City, let's go back to Joker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fuck, where were we even?
Well,
He's
After the interview scene with the psychologist, I think right after that.
Oh god, we're still pretty early on. Shit.
Yes.
but oh yeah, they were talking, Lady Gaga and stuff. They were talking, and then they go back, and then we get the scene you guys already talked about, where he gives him a slap on the back of his head, just establishing it's like, hey, we might be good to you, but don't fucking touch us. We're gonna beat the fuck out of you because you're worthless. We actually don't like you.
Yeah, we did discuss this scene a bit earlier. And,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good way to establish what their dynamic really was.
Yes.
Like it's like, hey,
They
look,
are in charge.
the
very
being
much.
nice to you is a game I'm playing because I think it's fun. But
Yeah.
like you don't play it back.
Because it seems like they have like a little understanding that when Arthur does tell them a joke, he gets like a cigarette or something. This is kind of what the vibe I got there. So they go through the.
That's a power move, though. That's
Oh,
just
yeah,
them,
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
they're being
fine.
nice, but only to reinforce their own power over him.
Absolutely.
Well, because it's like it being tell us a joke, Joker, and like I think I mentioned this before, just that it be clearly being a long time since he's actually told them one. I think they actually say it's a year or something. Like, do they actually say that?
I
it's
don't
been a long
recall
time
the
since-
It's
specific.
3 years, I think. I think
Oh.
it's
3
3
years.
years.
Holy shit. Okay. So yeah, like it at this point they're not offering him a cigarette by saying tell us that got a joke for us today. They're giving him shit. They're taunting him, making fun of him.
So they go through the community room where they're all just watching the television and they're watching the news, and good old Harvey Dent is on there, and he says, "Yo, insanity case against Arthur Fleck. That's no bueno. We're actually seeking for the death penalty." And then one of the guards is kind of comically evil. It's like, they will fry you, Artie. How does that make you feel? It's like, what a dick. But we get the first song that is in his mind, even though it doesn't look like it at first. And it's
Just real quick about Harvey Dent. I know Naomi was quite mad at that because she's like, listen, because she's more into comics than I am,
right.
and she was like, God damn it, Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent are supposed to be friends, and like Harvey Dent looks like he's in like his early 20s or something, right? Because he's like a young prosecutor at this point.
No, okay.
He
yeah.
looks pretty young. But
I
yeah,
think in this world though, like in the Joker movies, like you got to disconnect most of that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
obviously the
because-
canon here is not going to be comic accurate because
well,
Joe-
Naomi likes to nerd rage out about that sort of thing in the comics. Like, it's
That's
not
funny.
accurate. No.
Really?
But
I think the MCU for like I would argue MCU has less of an excuse when they change shit because they're very clearly trying to make it at least sort of like the comics. Whereas Joker, I think Joker pretty clearly established itself as just like, yeah, this is an Elseworlds Joker story that is really kind of its own thing.
I mean, Bruce would be at this point, what, 11 or 12 years old? It's been 2 years.
yeah.
Well,
he's,
3 years. I mean, no, he was like what 10, so yeah, he'd be like
I was
13 now.
Maybe 8 or 9, but yeah. He'd
Was
be,
he? Was he that young? I thought he was 10.
he would be too young to be friends with Harvey Dent, even if Harvey Dent is like a 22-year-old fresh-faced prosecutor, you know?
He might be his lawyer or something.
No.
Although I guess if
yeah,
he's a prosecutor,
I-
he probably wouldn't.
I like the younger portrayal of Harvey. I thought that was cool, and it was surprising when the explosion went off. They did like the scarred face thing, so it's like, oh, he's this young and he's already like Two-Face. Okay, in this universe, that was a bit surprising.
Joker and Two-Face that happened pre-Batman, I think is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, they're not going to do anything with it because there's not going to be a Joker 3. There's not going to be a Harley spinoff.
I mean,
this is
yeah,
done after
obviously,
this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
this
think any of us are under the impression that there would be any other truth other than if I don't know, made it the only way that they could tie this into any other movie is if they made oh shit, what's the guy's name? The dude from Dunkirk who's Joker at the end of the Batman. I can forget his name. He's got like a very like kind of Irish name.
Barry
that's hard to
Barry
pronounce.
Kogan. I don't know how
Barry
you
Kogan,
pronounce
yeah.
it, but yeah.
Yeah, so if they made it so that the psychopath at the end of this movie that starts laughing like crazy is Joker 2, and that there's just always like a leader of the Joker gang, and then Barry Keoghan happens to be the one in the Batman. That's the only way that this would be in the same world at all. Oh,
Right.
because I don't think there's been any common characters between the Batman and either of the Joker movies, right?
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
so if they wanted to do something with it, that's what they do. But I think with the response to this movie, it's not very likely that they're even going to bother with that.
Yeah.
Unless
Even
it's
before the
already in
response, the
Batman
director was
2.
like, "I'm done. I'm not doing any more. I'm not making a third one. This is it. I'm out."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Todd Phillips
Yeah.
is definitely not doing anything. Well, I'm talking about whether or not Warner Brothers is going to be like, okay, how can we tie our movies together in a way that makes people be like, oh, you need to go watch Joker and Joker Folie à Deux for like if you want to watch the Batman or the Penguin on HBO, which honestly is pretty good. I never thought the Penguin HBO show would be the Joker, the Batman villain thing that came out in the past week that I would enjoy more.
Let's go and watch it.
I
Need
don't-
to check it out.
I don't know if it's still the case, but I think Warner Brothers is trying to establish a DC black label, they call it. So
Yeah,
I don't know if they would try to tie something like Joker, which would be considered a black label film, with their other
Yeah.
sort of DC stuff.
Well,
I mean,
I've
the
also heard
Batman
that
is pretty
they're
dark. Like it's, I think the Batman would fit more with Joker than it probably will with like James Gunn's new Superman movie that I'm willing to bet is going to be pretty lighthearted. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I have heard is that basically the complete flop of like the Man of Steel oriented DC extended universe, like that just fucking fell apart
Snyderverse.
instantly.
Sure fault.
They're yeah,
Hmm.
they're basically like redoing it. They're starting over with like another extended universe, and it's like, fuck,
James
guys.
Gunn is. Yeah, James Gunn is
Ugh.
making Superman Legacy that is going to be the first film officially, I guess, in the DCU. Although DCU being not the DCEU, which was the Snyderverse. Yes, there's a lot of TISM involved in these acronyms. But the
God.
new DC universe is apparently going to be all-inclusive across games, movies, and shows. I don't
course it
know
is.
how the Batman is going to factor into it because I think the Batman and the Joker films being side projects that were not conceived under this banner, this new banner, I think they're still
also
going to be their
being
own
better,
thing.
by the
And
way.
I think, yeah, well, that's the thing. And Matt Reeves, I said, thinks that he's 3 Batman films and then it's done. So they'll be the Batman 2 and the Batman 3, whatever they end up being called. The Penguin spin-off show, if they decide to do any other HBO shows, and then that whole contained Batman universe will be wrapped up. So the only question mark
God.
here is if they're going to try to tie Joker into it by making the Joker like a mantle, as they do pretty fucking often in movies based on comics these days. So I
Listen,
can
I
see
think
them
we all
doing
know-
that, but I don't think Todd Phillips would have anything to do with even that decision.
I think we all know what they have to do is just let everything lie for like 10 years and start afresh, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah, like it's like the
Apparently,
problem
Hector
with
says
Hollywood.
they dropped Legacy. Apparently now it's just called Superman, I guess. Okay.
Oh, okay, all right, fuck. Superman again.
Let
Just
me,
call the movie Superman again. Fuck it.
Superman again. Fuck
Superman.
it.
Well, one of my big problems with Hollywood right now is like they keep trying to force a square peg through a round hole. They get these winning movies like the Batman and the Penguin that like, oh, people want to see more of this, but they've already committed to Batman or Superman Legacy and all this other trash that like
Which
likely
presumably
won't really
will have its own Batman.
right. And it's like, guys, just like you said, like just chill out on the movies. Like if one hits, let's build off of that. Like
Yeah.
don't like you're planning multiple Batman, Superman, Iron Man, MCU projects all at once that all conflict with each other, and then you scramble when one fails. You're like, oh, actually, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna erase that through one weird event, and then that's what we're gonna do. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The fact that I could tell you about all those plans for like the new DC universe means they're probably not going about it the right way. I think it would probably even go over better with people if it's just like, hey, James Gunn's making a Superman movie. It's Guardians of the Galaxy guy making Superman. It's a new Superman. It's not connected to the Zack Snyder ones. New actor. It's its own
Yeah.
thing. And just if that works, be like, okay, there were some other superhero characters in this. We have some other ideas. this is the next one we're going to make. It's going to be our Flash. I don't know. Like, pick
Yeah.
one that's probably not Batman while the Batman movies are going on. And then once, that happens, make a Batman movie. And 10 years down the line, if a bunch of these movies have hit, pull them together and make a Justice League movie. That would be the way to do it. But they've already announced a whole bunch of plans. So probably a good
I can't
majority
wait
of
for
them
it
are
all
gonna
to
not
fucking
be-
fail and just go up in fire.
I hope the opposite. I hope it's all great, but I feel like it's probably not going to be.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I obviously hope that it's going to be great too, but I know it's not going to be. So I'm also just hoping it's going to be an entertaining dumpster fire, at least.
I mean, yeah, and like again, like I've liked a lot of James Gunn's movies. I don't think he's an untalented filmmaker. So I mean, he might make a great Superman movie. I just hope they don't try to make 50 of them within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that was quite the detour. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, maybe we'll get
Try
another
to-
scene ahead.
God.
Let's see. Baby the Babbity. Yeah, has the first song in his mind. He just kind of walks around and talks about he's not really scared anymore because he is in love with Lady Gaga. But he's not actually doing anything because we cut to him just standing there looking at the telly and not reacting at all, just having his cigarettes. And I don't know if anyone recalls the actual song. I just don't know the song names at all, so sorry.
I could probably find the track list. I really should.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Yeah,
But
go
keep
check it
going.
out. But we also see the first time this one random guy who is going to be the quote-unquote real Joker, is what people have been saying. So there you go. It's heavily implied at the end that he's going to be
I
the...
think is the only thing he's actually referred to as in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's what he refers to himself as.
And then we cut to him standing outside in the rain, having one of his laughing fits. So it seems like it was just kind of suppressing his reaction because, as we remember from the first one, when he got very nervous, he started to laugh. And it looks like the death penalty, he's not very thrilled about this. So he, I don't know if he wanted to go outside to get rid of his laughing, or if that was like a punishment of sorts. I don't know. It looked kind of like a punishment because he was outside in the pouring rain, but I don't know why he would be there as a punishment at this time. So I think he just requested to go outside to, I don't know, deal with his stress, I guess.
I think it could be the case that his laughter was so annoying inside to the guards and the other inmates. It's just like, okay, do that shit outside if,
Yeah,
if you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, that might be also a thing. Yeah, that's not a good shout. Not a bad shout. God, my brain is fucking mush.
Okay, I have
Well,
a list of the
I
tracks.
also. Okay, go on.
I don't know if they're in order though. So
Yeah.
if someone recognizes the name of one song that they can tell me about as we're going through this here, I can find out where we are on the track list. We can keep going though.
Okay.
Right, what I was going to jump in with there is that I think basically him being outside in the rain is just it wasn't necessarily like your laughter's annoying. It's more like the guards seem to arbitrarily punish him based on how well he's doing in court as well. So every time he comes home after like a day in court, the guards like do stuff to him, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Mhm.
the fact that he is now facing the death penalty, this is basically just the guards like, pouring salt in the wound. It's like, aha, fuck you, go outside.
Yeah, it could also be.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. And then we get
He's also having his nervous laughter while off the meds now. Is he off the meds at this point?
No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I
I think it's just
no?
when the pressure gets too ridiculous, or he gets super
It's-
nervous, it still goes through. I think that's how it was in the first one as well.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't know. Well, I
it's-
think the thing is though, it's like on the medications, he's doing the nervous laughter much more often. Like towards the beginning of the movie of Joker 2019. I mean,
Yeah,
That was-
the
that was my whole
medication doesn't seem to have an effect on his laughter. If anything, like you're saying, Mark, it intensifies it.
Yeah.
Right. And then we get the scene in the theater, because I guess there's like a small scene in between where he has a call with the lawyer, I think, where she tries to talk to him, but he's just kind of more excited about being able to go to the theater because he's getting treated normally for once, I think he says, if I recall correctly. and the one guy wants his book signed because there's a book about him, it seems, and he's doing very badly by saying it's like it's gonna be worth a lot when he kicks the bucket, and he was about to write in there, put on a happy face, and then he crosses that out and says, "I hope you get cancer," which I don't know. I think that was
good.
that was pretty funny actually.
I thought it was good that it was Tim Dillon too.
That was good casting. Yeah, I like that.
I'll be back in a minute, guys.
No worries.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, they go to the theater and they watch some movie. I don't recall what movie it was, but Lady Gaga is kind of like trying to do the holding hands thing, but she's spooked. She's spooked, nervous, and he stands up and he's like, "You're gonna miss the part," and she goes back and starts lighting a cigarette and is like, "You know what? I'm actually gonna fucking burn this place to the ground."
Yeah, as one
And-
does.
She just lights all the matches, throws it in the piano, I think it was, and it starts going up in flames, and they go outside. And this is where I guess we already talked about the whole scene here, where they dance their way to the gates and trying to escape, which is where we all thought. I guess that's the impression I got. We all thought is like, oh, this is just what's the word I'm looking for? Like a heightened perception of what is actually happening to make it look like a musical to the audience.
Yeah.
But it's actually, apparently they actually just fucking danced their way to the gates and were about to climb over, but they got captured again and they got brought to their
Our
respective
friend-
places.
Our friend Wolf just sent us the thing I put in the Discord. You have to throw it up right away. I do think it's
Superman
funny.
again.
I found it annoying that Gaga starts the fire like she wasn't being watched. Like,
Yeah, everyone
I
is
mean,
just-
even if they are on good behavior, it's like these are all Arkham patients, and it's like, here, take this book of matches and go unsupervised to the back of
Yeah.
the room. Like,
Well, I guess she's part of the place where they don't need supervision all the time. That's a place where they just check themselves in and out. So
right.
I guess I can understand if they're not getting watched. I think if Arthur would have been the one to do this, I think this would have been a different story.
But is it nitpicking to say that like this, like even in the early 80s or late 70s when this takes place, like
Uh-huh.
there's gonna be someone like standing at the door watching what's happening. They're
You would
not gonna
think
turn
so.
their backs
That's
on.
actually a
You know
good
what I mean?
point.
Like, and that's kind of what bothers me about this scene is she's just like, oh, I'm gonna light up a cigarette. First of all, I mean, there's two things I want to say. One, it's like she just stands up, has like cigarettes and matches on her. Like, would that be really happening? But then she's able to just set fire to the piano and no one like hears anything. I mean,
The fire is
guess-
already pretty high and raging before anyone notices. Which is like,
Right.
whoa, okay.
and then like, and even and so this kind of leads to the next thing, like with the cigarettes. Like Arthur, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a few times where Arthur doesn't have a cigarette, and then all of a sudden he like has one, like when he's in his cell or something. And I'm wondering if that is supposed to play a part in like the
Yeah.
idea that a lot of this stuff is in his head, maybe all of it, or like 95% of all of this is just him like sort of fantasizing about her and what they could be doing and what he could be doing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and again, I don't know if it's nitpicking, and I don't know if it's like me making an excuse for something to be good or bad. But again, I guess it's what makes this so movie ambiguous overall is that there's nothing that clearly points to yes, this is psychosis, no, this is real life, and that is very distracting.
Yeah, I
Um,
get you.
yeah.
I had the same feeling. Like there was some parts I was like, is this now? Maybe is this? I'm not sure.
I-
They
The
portray it as
musical
real,
scenes, I
but
think we can all count as being like just dreams.
Yeah, I mean,
dreams.
once you do that scene where he's singing in the lounge area, and then it hard cuts to him standing at the television, it's like anything's on the table at that point for being, happening or not.
which is I mean that's bad in my opinion. Like you
Yeah.
know, like you're confusing your audience. Like it's one thing to want to make a movie about being like psychotic or even like split personality and like taking your your audience along with you, but you have to give them some ground in reality, and we just never get that, which is the frustrating part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh well. It was really cynical. It's like, yeah, it shit sucks. Anyway, go ahead. I lost my notepad. Come back. But yeah, they make their way to the gates and get stopped, and Arthur gets thrown into the hole, solitary confinement. I'm actually surprised I said that
throw in
without
the hole.
tripping over my words because of my situational disability.
Scratchy land guards. Like I'm so embarrassed. I just want to die in the hole, and then they're like, "Okay, throw her in the hole."
It's also worth mentioning there's very little chance of escaping a place like that because it's like
Oh, yeah.
Alcatraz, where it's like it's on an island
Yeah, that's like one
surrounded by
big
water. There's
street
only
with a
one
bridge.
path out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I
it
don't know
was-
what I was expecting, like for them to actually break out and cause carnage in Gotham. Like once you see Arkham,
Yeah, that's true.
like as it's geographically laid out, it's just like fuck, nobody's escaping that.
Yeah. And then we immediately get another song, but this one is proper in his head now. Like he's just coping with being in the hole, and it's like, oh, I'm so in love with Lady Gaga, and they have like a little dance, so they're in love, and it's a nice little set piece. I like it.
Lady Gaga sounds like a death metal band.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, and like Dev was saying, it's one of the few instances, maybe the only instance, where you have a sort of musical portion of it that is actually moving things forward because they are in the motions of trying to escape, or I don't know if they expect to escape, if this is just a fun
Yeah.
little outing for them and they expect to go back in. But I wish it had more of that, man, because you can do that. You can have a musical that moves things forward. I mean, my favorite example of that is Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic.
Oh, the
Where,
one
I
with
mean-
Taron Egerton. I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I thought it was Joel, but I guess are they brothers or something?
Was
I
it?
thi-
Was
I think
it
it's
Joel
Taron.
Egerton? I thought it was.
It
Taron
might have been.
Egerton.
I think it's one of them. You could be right.
Huh.
But anyway,
they
like
brothers?
that movie has musical set pieces that not only move the story forward, but they function as massive jumps, like transitions across time gaps, which is really clever. Like transitioning to different eras of his life. Is that if the movie did that with like Joker and Harley finding a way to escape properly and then wreaking havoc throughout the city in like a Gotham City that's like absolutely just in a crazy
Yeah.
unstable state, that could have been great, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how
It
you
was-
would end that movie in a satisfying way, but I think there's potential there.
Absolutely.
It was Taron Egerton in Rocket Man, and he is Joel Egerton's brother. I actually did not ever know
Oh, there you
that.
go.
Wow.
Makes tons
that's
of
cool.
sense, I guess.
You could do that, John, in this movie if you had more than like a week, like to like. I mean, like the movie takes place over a couple days essentially, and you can't like the way they portray like their relationship is it happens so quick. Like she's there, or maybe it's more than a week, but it's a very short amount of time that they like quote unquote fall in love.
Yeah.
You know, the trial's only a couple of days, so it's like what. There's a lot they're trying to cram into one little spot, but to show that development like over a little bit more time span would make their whole relationship arc a little bit more believable. But yeah, I don't know. It's but they just don't do it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the consequence of this is Lady Gaga gets sent home, quote unquote, allegedly sent home, and Arthur gets thrown in the hole. And let's see. I think this next part is the interview. No, wait, he's in the hole. Right. And then there's like right after this the set piece musical scene. This is completely in his head. There's like a scene where Lady Gaga is in the hole, and she says that the guards allowed her to come in, and she was like, "Yo, I'm gonna wait for you when you come back out. We're gonna build a mountain here. Put some clown makeup on and put your pee inside of me." That's the scene.
The most awkward scene. This totally took me out of the movie. I was like, don't know what's happening. How the hell is she even there? Why am I being shown like the most uncomfortable scene ever?
It was a not very good sex scene. In that
No.
it was not engaging as a sex scene, and also it was depicting not good sex.
Yeah.
Right.
This
Which
scene
again, like-
actually, this scene actually didn't bother me that much, although it is an uncomfortable watch, like deliberately so, and it is like the worst sex like ever. Like
Right.
it is kind of cringe to watch, but I actually liked that about it. And as to her entering the cell, I just keep reminding myself like a few times throughout this movie, it's Gotham City. People are corrupt and half-assed and not doing their job properly, and so she might have seduced some guard and convinced, him. To
I was
let
just
her
more
in.
confused. It's like, oh, this is clearly him still fantasizing, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's actually, oh, that happened. Okay.
Yeah. And
Oh.
that's exactly what I thought. I thought like, this is he completely made up. And even John, to your point, like I thought like this is probably deliberately uncomfortable because
Yeah.
just of how Arthur is in general. Like he's a very detached human, like, and like it's, affection is not his strong suit, but yeah, like somehow he's finding companionship with this woman, and one of the only people who's ever really shown him quote unquote love. But and this is why I thought the idea of Harley or Lee in this movie working in Arkham would have made so much more sense, because now there's a reason. You don't have to like show us how she got there or even convince us of how she may have gotten there, or we don't have to think about, oh, well, maybe she slipped the guard a 20, or maybe she gave him a blowy or whatever. Like it's just, oh no, she has privilege to see him because it's his patient. They're talking things through. Oh, and this is the next step. Like, now all of a sudden she has a sexual desire, like to be with him or something. But like, but in this case, with her just being a rich girl on the outside, there's so much stuff that you have to assume took place to get there, or that he's just crazy. And again, there's no ground in reality, so we don't know what either of those could be. So the audience is just sort of left there going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just imagine like the sex is so bad. Like I'm thinking this can't be a vision, because like he why would he fantasize about
Yeah.
having cringe sex like that?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That would be funny though.
I guess he just figures
The
that roughly
self-awareness
that's
is,
how
I'm
it'll
probably gonna
go.
do really bad.
Yeah. Someone tell me just pump like 3 times and be done with it.
He's a narcissist without an ego, so I suppose this is the logical fantasy for him.
Oh man.
Hey man, still counts.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's the scene over, and we see the interview I mentioned 1 or 2 times already, with someone from the tell. I forgot if did they tell us who? They probably do. I just remember his name is Paddy.
Patty. Yeah.
And they have an interview with him. The lawyer's not allowed to be inside the room, and he basically just like, hey, what's up with you? What is your problem? Why did you do all these things? And it's like, oh, I was not well. And he kind of just parrots the points the lawyer makes, like, oh, I was sawing lights, and I don't really remember anything. I only remember the music. And the interview is like, oh, so that's like your excuse. Like, oh, I wouldn't say it's an excuse. Like, oh, what about the show you put up with your girlfriend and stuff? It's like, oh yeah, she's something, isn't it? And he's like, oh, isn't that a bit much or anything? And Arthur kind of snaps. Is like, do you actually care? Like, do you all just want sensationalism? You just want all the things. You want to talk about what's happened. Why don't we talk about what's now? Like, what's changed? And it's like, well, what did change? It's like, well, I'm not alone anymore because I'm in love and she's so poggy.
Hey, I mean, a Poggers GF might actually change it, man. To be
That's
fair.
true, man. But
I thought
yeah,
this was a great scene.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was-
a great scene.
yeah, it was good. It was good. But yeah, obviously, like the Harley Quinn character is kind of nuts herself. So this is where we see like the the newspaper thingy where it's like crazy in love and they've been doing this dance and stuff. So this is where they basically tell us like, yeah, they did actually sing and dance their way to the gates and then got captured. It's like, yeah.
I'm back. What did I miss?
Hello. We're done. We're wrapping up. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
Oh shit.
Outros.
I guess I was really the one who was making it go slow, eh?
No, just the solitary confinement scene and the interview we just went through real quick.
Also, the question of how much a Poggers GF may or may not change a man.
Yeah. And then we go to the first day of trial pretty shortly after this. And this first one specifically is basically a dry rehash of what happened to him in the first movie. We like
Yeah,
we
less interesting version of the same material.
Yeah, we have Sophie here, the lady he imagined having a relationship with, talking about how we have the council lady here. She like gives information from the diary he was doing. It's like, oh, there's all these unfunny jokes in there, and the lawyer's trying to make like a case, oh, this is like private stuff. It's like, no, she limited us already. It's fine. She's gonna read this. Like, yeah, he had like all these imaginary relationships that he documented in here, and that he dreamt a lot about having relationships with different girls that he actually never talked to. There was something. Oh yeah, we have. But I think I just mashed together those two. I think there's two trial thingies where basically these things happen. I think there's like a pause in between where the lawyer lady tells me, hey, yo, your girlfriend lady, she was kind of bullshitting. She never grew up in your neighborhood. She checked herself in and out right after you were captured. And she was basically just faking it so she can get closer to Arthur, or an extension to the Joker personality.
Yep. So this is where I have a take on this that apparently no one else agrees with.
Oh,
And I
wow.
have to
You
admit
having a
that
take no one else agrees with? What's new?
It seems to be quite common, in fact. I have a take on this that I fully admit this is my own personal biases and interests coming in here. All right. But by the end of the movie, I began to view Harley Quinn, specifically because it's starting off at this scene, the one where it's revealed that she's actually not a mental patient. She actually seems to be. She comes from like a rich family and she has like a degree and et cetera, et cetera. I began to basically view her like Hassan Piker. Does that make sense? Where basically she is this person who is she's actually a woman of means. She has money, she has influence. She might not have direct political power, but she's not a member of the underclass the same way that Arthur Fleck is.
This might be my favorite one yet. That's funny as fuck.
Right. But basically Hassan Piker, she's like the champagne socialist revolutionary.
Yeah.
And she basically attaches
What am I
herself.
supposed to do? Die?
she attaches for like as soon as I heard this, I was like, oh my god, this is what it's gonna be. She's doing this for explicitly political reasons because she sees a path forward for her revolutionary cause, being this educated university student. And as soon as she realizes that Arthur does not want to actually take part in the revolution, because he didn't in the first movie either, she's going to walk away from him. And it turns out, like, I made that prediction in the middle of the movie, and I was right. Because as soon as, like, at the end of the movie, when Arthur confronts her for the final time, she's like, yeah, so I never actually wanted you in the first place.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, she's actually just Hassan Piker. That's what it is.
Yeah,
She was
the
doing this
mention
for
of
an
Hassan
explicitly
made my
political
puppy growl.
reason.
Love it.
Like, she
I can see that,
just
yeah.
wanted to get her revolution off the ground, and Arthur was like it was basically her way to do it. And now, as soon as he rejected the call, she just fucking vanished. And I was like, oh man, yeah, that's what this is.
Yes,
Oh
but
my.
like, why would she get pregnant by him? Like if it was all just a shit.
Have you
Because she
have
was
you
lying.
known
That was a
Hassan
lie.
to
That
not
was a lie.
want to get pregnant by his I don't know. What would be the word for that?
Like right
Acolyte?
after the Joker steps scene, she goes on her vlog, it's like, he's a Weasley little liar, dude.
Oh my god.
Weasley
She fires up
little
her
liar,
Twitch
dude.
stream. But yeah, I think the whole pregnancy thing was just like her trying to manipulate him further. That wasn't real. That wasn't true.
That's a good. Yeah, I thought that too. Later, like once they met on the stairs and that whole thing happened, I was like, oh, it didn't even.
Yeah.
She was just using that as a. Yeah. No.
I
But see-
sort of that is also the conversation that made me hate what they did with the ending of his court room arc. You know, like his whole thing was kind of saying, yeah, you know, I'm just Arthur. I can't be what you want me to be. Like that had something to it at least. And then he immediately was like, oh hey, you want to still be like, you know, like hey, I can basically be what you want to be because I ran away instead of just sitting there and facing my consequences like it seemed like I was saying I was going to. And I mean, God, he found her there. Like she happened to be there.
Just hanging out.
On the Joker steps,
It's
the
the
legendary
iconic
Joker
steps.
Yeah, like, you couldn't have had a thing to say, hey, if we ever get separated and you're wondering where you can find me, I'll be waiting for you on the steps. Nothing like that. He just goes there and she happens to be there. Or not, I don't know. Like, again, what's in his head when it comes to her?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, right? I know that back in the 2019 movie when that first came out, people were like derisively calling Joker an incel, and this was like, you know, the white male rage movie, and there was that SNL skit that you guys all probably saw.
Nothing to do with skin color. It's just about class and like social position.
Yeah, but that's all true. That's all true. But I mean, the Joker as an incel thing does kind of work even in this movie because clearly he has like dysfunctional relationships with women, whether it's Harley or his mother or that neighbor of his he was obsessing over. Like none of his relationships with women have been functional whatsoever. And so you could actually make like a decent incel movie out of this. It's just that people view incels.
He wants the
here's
relationship though.
Yeah,
He wants a relationship with someone.
He does. Yes, he does. And well, here, let's be honest. Most incels do too. They just don't want to say it. There's a lot of bitterness in that community for sure.
Part of the whole thing. Like, I mean, if they didn't care, then wouldn't like.
Okay.
It's not a. You're not being denied an action you're not trying to perform, right?
That's
okay.
true.
When you have like progressives online talk about incels, they talk about them the same way that they talk about like misogynists and rapists and that sort of thing, right? But I mean, I think it's more accurate to talk about incels as basically being this downtrodden class of men who like they definitely have some entitlement issues to work on for sure, but they're also suffering. They're not just plain evil, you know. And you can see that I think in Arthur as well. Even though he's done some very plainly evil things, he's also a person who's suffering. So you can make like a more honest and, you know, less one-sided incel story out of the two Joker movies. And looking at it that way, his arc with Harley Quinn makes complete sense because like how many people who are online, like men who are online who are legitimately bitter towards women, how many of them had like a negative relationship with a girl who was just clearly using him and he didn't notice till it was too late? That seems to be a pretty common story, you know.
Have any of us not had that?
Right. Fair enough. I've definitely had one of those for sure in my past. And like it's
Lucky.
Wait,
What?
Well, so I'm sure we've all felt this at least once. Like once you've got off of a bad relationship and you realize that she was more the problem than you, and like, how could I have been so blind? How did I get suckered into this? And like, it's very easy to like see the path that goes towards just like a complete pit of despair where you end up hating all women. That happens for some people for sure. And there's like an allure to it because you feel like slighted and vindicated by going down that path. So I understand it.
Right? Like it's easy to express your frustration with your life when you have an enemy to blame, and that's kind of what it comes down to. But ultimately, the enemies, they're a problem. Like people that treated you poorly aren't justified for being that, and it's all your fault. But what you do both in reaction to it and afterwards is you, right? Like,
yes, absolutely. Someone in the chat says that Joker was the synthetic man.
I mean,
and you know what? From what I know about the synthetic man, he seems to be both a villain and a victim of something. Like he's not all evil, you know.
I don't want to talk about Synthetic Man, I'll be honest.
Nope, that's fair.
We
That's fair. You don't gotta get into it.
I've had enough of that on the EFAB. Go watch that.
I guess my point is
that we're responding to Synthetic Man's review of a game I'm currently replaying, the Steam version. God of War
boy.
Ragnarok.
That was an
good port.
experience.
Oh fuck. So when it comes to this movie though, I do think that Harley basically turning out to be someone who's using him for, personally, I think as like a political gain. I think that fits very well with Joker's overall character arc of just being someone who is dysfunctional with women.
Yeah.
He is the kind of guy who would be suckered out in that way, you know.
Oh yeah, he would latch onto that really quickly. I don't have a problem with that at all. Yeah.
That's why I kind of view her as Hassan, and as this scene as being the beginning of her being revealed to basically not actually be, you know, someone who's truly in love with the Joker, and she's actually insane in her own right, and she's going along with him. No, she's actually like being very manipulative, and she's doing this for her own purposes.
Yeah.
And as soon as she realizes that it's all fake, she has to go back to her Twitch stream and then cry in a bag of money.
$5.
That's my view of it, though. I
Yeah.
view her as Hassan in this movie. I don't know if anyone else does, but I do.
I do now and think it's funny.
I mean, and now it's hard to not.
Now I will never not see this. But in any case, the yeah, after this the scene, he learns from the lawyer that she was bullshitting and all that stuff. He has like a degree and has parents, and her parents are not actually dead. And yeah, we go back briefly to the ward, and the Ricky guy is just hanging out with him, and yeah, it almost feels like he's trying to imitate Arthur or the Joker persona, because he suddenly is sitting there like all like leaned on the benches where the guards normally are, and he has like a cigarette in his hand, so he's kind of like trying to imitate him. He feels like he's connected him, but Arthur actually doesn't give a shit about that guy. He never actually talks to him, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, Gaga comes to visit, and he basically asks about her bullshit story, and she says, "Oh yeah, that was all made up, but I just didn't want you to dislike me. And also, I really love you, and actually I'm pregnant." And he's like, "Yo, Poggy, I'm pregante." That's awesome.
Argargart.
Pregnant.
Well, they were applying just terms like poggers to this time period. As far as, like, where it's moved. It's really funny for some reason.
He just turns around to the guard, just a soy face, like, "You're pregnant, bro!" Yo. And then they have like she does like another song that's not like in anyone's head or in any musical thing. She just sings about things we just established already. Next trial day. This is where Sophie actually comes in. The other one was the council lady from the first one. Now we have Sophie, the lady he has the imaginary relationship with in the first one. And we learned that she never actually called the police because she talked to his mom, and she was super nice to her daughter, and says like, "Yeah, Arthur, he has like problems. He's a bit little cuckoo," and talks like, "Oh yeah, he doesn't really have anyone to talk to. He's a virgin, and we made up this story, or I made up this story, that he was brought to this planet to bring joy here, so." In order to, so he wouldn't kill himself, basically. And this is why she called him Happy. And even the mom was surprised that he just took this as gospel and basically, well, based his whole life on this story. So he became like this comedian, or tried to be a comedian, and stuff like that.
I think it's also worth pointing out at this point
Yes.
that every day of the trial, Harley Quinn, one, moves closer to Joker in the crowd, and
Right.
two, dresses up more and more elaborately each day.
Yeah, Arthur is also more interested in her and not in anything that's been said in the case. Like, there's like this one scene where he writes something on a piece of paper, shows it to the lawyer before she goes to ask someone something, and just says, "Can you make sure that Lee gets a nicer seat next time," or something. Like, he just wants to be close to her because he's enamored beyond belief.
I thought her interaction with the press was kind of a weird like moment. I don't know
That's
if you
Oh,
true,
guys
yeah.
thought that, where she just walked up to the lawyer and was like, "You're fucking up," and it was just like, huh? Like, there was like no real previous relationship, I thought, with them. So like,
No,
the
not
fact
at
that
all. She's just, I think it's just she's crazy and just like, "Stop treating him like Arthur. He's Joker. Don't you know how fucking amazing he is? He's perfect. You just treat him like some crazy person, even though he's clearly perfect the way he is as Joker, of course."
I
So
do feel like
the-
an outburst like that at the courthouse would make it so that they wouldn't allow her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a good point. I skipped over that in my notes. Yeah, that happened, and the loyalty is like irritating. It's like he's like ill. He needs like help. It's like no, he's perfect. He's my perfect Joker. So yeah, Gaga is kind of nuts herself.
Daddy.
And yeah, during this scene, we have like some pretty neat cinematography, I think, because we focus on Arthur while we hear in the background Sophie telling us like, oh, he's just a loser and a little cuckoid and he sucks and he's a virgin and incel, blah blah blah. That's not what she says, but that's basically what they mean, right? And he just kind of breaks him like slowly because he hears all these negative things. And it's like, God, this sucks. He gets reminded of how he's adopted, how he's been abused, and all these memories start coming back. And at this point, he stopped taking his medication, which he somehow didn't take, even though they checked it. They actually never showed us how he managed to not take his medication, now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure they show us twice that the guards check if they took the medication, but they never showed us how he managed to not take them. Unless
Yeah, it's pretty easy to throw it up afterwards. I think like you can get away with it easy enough.
Okay. I mean, I don't need to do that, so I'm not knowledgeble in dodging my medication.
I've known people, and I've read a few stories now for other videos of people who were in who were like in psych wards, and how they not take meds. It's apparently very easy to do.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Take your
Yeah, it's
meds.
especially a shame for people who work in healthcare. Delightful.
Yeah. Oh god, that reminds me. It's like a weird tangent. When I was in school still, there was like 1 year where we had to do like de facto internships, where it's like more charitable. So you work in like an old folks home for like a week or a month or something. This is something that's like in the program of the school. So just to have the experience, I guess that's just a thing you do. And remember, I had to feed this one old fucker, and he kept spitting out that one pill somehow, even though it was like hidden in food. And I was like, motherfucker, how are you so good at this? You can't even walk anymore, but you still refuse to fucking take your meds. That's insane. Like the way he just fucking did it, I was like, you can barely move, but you still just refuse. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I thought it was funny. Tough crowd, I see. Anyway, back to Joker 2.
No, I thought it was funny too. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I was dealing with cool.
It was funny, but not haha funny. It was like, oh yeah.
No, it's fine.
I
You all
appreciate
never invited again. That's okay.
Oh,
That was the test. You're all out.
Me too. Like, am I fired?
No longer co-host.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
internmentship. What did I say? What did I say? They weren't imprisoned.
Internship?
Internship.
You mean internment? Internship means that you're working as an intern in a business.
Yeah.
To be
they're different
to be
things.
interned means that you are a prisoner. So
Oh
you're
yeah, I
an
mean
internment.
the first one.
Yeah.
They were. I was not shackled to the old folk people for a month. But yeah, all these memories come back, and he's like, I can't fucking do this anymore, and he fires the lawyer, and that's. Would that be allowed? That seems wrong that he's allowed to even do that.
yeah.
I don't know how this would work.
No, I believe you can fire your representation if you feel like they're
I mean, I
not
know you can, but
representing your best interests.
I'm more talking about because he's in a psych ward. Is that still allowed? I just don't
that
know.
would
I'm asking.
Oh, that's a good point.
So the psych ward would very likely be the reason why there'd be no circumstance where they'd let him then represent himself.
Yeah, because I know this is a
Right.
thing you can do in with the self-representation, but I'm more like the whole being in a psych ward being a thing. I don't know if you would be allowed to do the self-defense.
I think it would just be really weird to have him, have him be trying to argue for an insanity of defense on his own behalf is bizarre.
I think it's
But,
another
I
one of
mean,
those
hey.
things where it's just like we're in Gotham City, and I guess it's
Yeah,
fucked.
Probably, yeah.
yeah, like it's like okay,
It's-
like,
it's
go. It's
not
not
even
the
modern
greatest
Gotham.
of
It's Gotham in the
disbelief.
early '80s. Like,
Yeah.
you know, everything's
Yeah,
just
thi-
so
this
kind of
suspension of
half-assed,
disbelief.
unsophisticated.
This suspension of disbelief is just not on the radar for this movie's problems. I think it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's just
fine,
something
now
I
he's
was thinking about because
representing
I have
himself,
no idea how that would work. I've seen
Oh,
people
it's
in chats like there was the
definitely
guy
stupid.
that ran through a parade and that represented himself and he was clearly insane. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to see if there's like real life things like this where someone is already in a psych ward and then represent themselves. Would be interesting to see. But yeah, I
I
don't.
mean, well, there's also people who like very clearly fake it too, right? They fake the
Right,
insanity, so you
right.
got to be careful. Everyone knows the story of the guy who was completely sane, but he decided to basically eat his own shit in the courtroom to get off on insanity. Like that happened, and it's like, well,
Committed to the bit.
what is the
Can
line
respect it.
between real insanity or between someone who is just competent but doing something that appears insane for a purpose? You know.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, that's why it's on the doctors to be able to figure that out by interacting with the people like over a long period of time. But it's tricky when you have a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I assume she is, making an argument for an insanity defense, and then I don't know, then having him being allowed to. Oh wait, no, she's just his lawyer, right? Yeah, no, the psychiatrist is someone different. Never mind, I'm mixing up these points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I'm off
psychiatrist is
track.
only in at the start of the movie and he just never comes back.
Yeah, I guess it's just because the lawyer is the one trying to argue that he's insane, and I'm not sure because like I guess like you'd want to present all the evidence that would make the case you're trying to make, but at the same time, the lawyer isn't who determines if you're fit to stand trial or not. You know, like it should be like doctors.
Hmm.
Right.
I think it usually is. I mean, but the idea is like the lawyer will like ask, listen, I don't think that my client is actually sane, and then present evidence, and then the court system will like look at it and then make a determination. So the lawyer has a
Yeah.
part to play.
Yeah,
I think the lawyer files like, the petition.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm just getting lost in what the mechanics of it would be.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. That's why I was throwing that out there.
You confused
Ooh.
your cyborg.
Sorry.
down.
I'm gonna reboot you real quick. Oh no. And I think then we have another song thing going on, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Is this the build a mountain part?
I think there's a build a mountain thingy that happens here at some point. I don't even have this in my notes because it's like, yeah, this happens. Anyway, moving on.
'Cause that was the real big stage. Like
Yeah,
I think that
those
happened
ones are just
after.
like I don't care. for those
Yeah,
ones.
it looked nice. It was nice. It was nice singing, but like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm at gonna build a mountain in this track list. We
Okay.
finally got oriented.
I'm trying to think because my next notes is immediately when he's doing the next trial day in full Joker getup. Was there anything in between that was important except the song stuff, or is this how this went? If someone remembers and can fill in a gap, if I have one here. If not, we just go from there.
I'm drawing a bit
do
of a
not
blank.
No, I think
That
the
was
reason
the-
it's foggy is because really nothing's happening, and the people going up to the stand and talking, they're just sort of recounting the
Yeah.
events of the first movie, and it's just dull,
I mean,
to be honest.
I didn't necessarily mind those parts because I don't mind like a good courtroom drama, right? It's just that the fact that the courtroom scenes were constantly interrupted by musicals that for the most part don't add anything. That was the
Mhm.
problem, and it made the whole thing kind of hard to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
We
And
do it-
it's a shame because it makes a lot of sense for him to be fantasizing when he's in court because he's like his fate is sort of out of his hands and he's fucking bored stiff and he's forced to listen to all these terrible things about himself, the things he's done, the abuse that he suffered.
Mhm.
Like, of course he's gonna fantasize about something, like anything but this. But then it's just a shame that whenever you're in that space, it just feels like we're not moving anything forward here. So why don't we just stick to the courtroom?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure anymore at what point this happens, but it's like the one scene that's kind of fun where he slaps the one with the stool and the judge with the hammer and stuff. That was just kind of a fun set piece as well. I like that.
Yep.
Yep.
But what I really one scene that I really liked is with Gary Puddles, the small fella
Yes.
he spared. This is my favorite scene in the movie. I fucking hope the actor for Puddles, I hope he gets all of the jobs because he is a fantastic actor.
Stop trying to cock block them, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, you
I-
prick.
This I thought this scene was going to almost work in Arthur's favor because it was like he was committing to the bit of Joker,
Yeah.
but what was happening in the courtroom was that he was almost trying to get Puddles to like admit that Arthur was just maniacal evil person that didn't, you know what I mean? Like he was really leaning into Joker there. But what was happening was the guy, even though he knew what he saw was awful and what he witnessed was awful him do in the first film, that under it all, Arthur was a good person and that he didn't, and that Arthur always treated him well and defended him. And I thought this is the moment that things are starting to like kind of turn around and like the jury's going to find him innocent because, or he's going to be actually insane or whatever, because he did split. But then it like they just took that scene and were like, man, crumpled it up and
we're doing something different, which you all very much like. We'll get there soon, but yeah. So yeah, basically you already summarized it pretty well.
Right.
Gary Puddles goes on a thing, and it's like a pretty long-ish scene. It's like 5, 6, 7 minutes long, because he defends himself right now, so he just asks him questions like, "What is your real name?" It's like, "The Puddles is my real name." It's like, "What, a clown called Puddles? That's kind of funny." And the judge just constantly goes like, "Oh, go on with like, okay, I'm sorry, judge, blah 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 blah." And yeah, Gary Puddles, whatever you like to call him, so it's like, "Hey, this is not like you. Like you're scaring me." Like, and he's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't even hurt you. I spared you." It's like, dude, like I was scared
I have
shitless.
nightmares every night.
I'm still scared. I can't sleep. I couldn't do anything that day. You've basically crippled me for life. Like mentally, I'm fucked now. Like you just horribly murdered someone in front of me. You were someone I liked, because you were defending me. You were not. You were the only one who didn't make any fun of me. And yeah, you basically ruined my life. And he asks him, "Do you know what it feels like?" And it's like, makes him do a big old think. The Joker man, like he wavers a little. It's like, and even what's like is it the same voice he does towards Gary in the scene? Because like, no more questions, Your Honor, or whatever. He does like a specific voice.
He's basically being Foghorn Leghorn from
Right.
Warner Brothers cartoons. Wait,
Yep.
and then he ends it with a "That's all, folks" too. Like, so that.
Although I
that
think
was-
the dialogue from Gary is really strong, but I
yeah.
found that accent, that southern accent that he puts on, really irritating to listen to. Like I don't know, I guess I kind of get it that a guy like Arthur would reach for some cartoon voice when he's playing a role that is not typically something that he'd do. Like, and I guess like he's seen like TV and watched like court dramas where he feels like he needs to do an impression of somebody. But I just like, I found it annoying to listen to.
I think it would have been better if it started breaking, and like even if he didn't go back to just full blown Arthur's normal voice and was just Joker's voice, that sort of kind of high pitched. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but like Joaquin Phoenix has a very distinctive voice when he speaks as Joker, when he's not like trying to make a funny accent with it. And I think the biggest problem with this scene is, and all the courtroom scenes where he's acting as the lawyer, it's like that's the most we're really getting of Joker in this movie.
Yeah.
And he spends the majority of it sounding like Foghorn Leghorn. And I don't know that was the best choice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If it was one scene, or he started out with it and then it kind of went away as Gary started getting more personal, or even wait, he doesn't actually question anyone else, does he?
No, after
He just
this,
has
the
Gary and then
DA
the
actually
closing
says
argument.
we don't have any more questions. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
we've seen enough basically.
But then he just has his closing argument at the end.
Yeah, that happens.
Okay.
Also, someone asked if Gary needs a booster seat for the stand. He is sitting on the book like Yellow Pages or something.
Yellow
Yeah,
Pages,
he's on
yeah.
the phone book.
Just a nice little extra thing. Yeah, this makes him waver a bit, and it's quite good. It's a good scene. It's a really good scene. I enjoyed quite a bit. But there's this is in my notes at least. After this is when they have the song with "We Build a Mountain." Okay, well there you go. So I guess before this is the one when he punches the people in his musical thing, and then they have the "We Will Build a Mountain" sing song musical flim flam. But more importantly, in his questioning towards the end, he tells Gary, he's like, "Oh, you probably don't know the real me because you're not different than anyone else. No different even than the dicks in the dick guards in Arkham." And it's like, oh, then they show the guards,
Yeah.
and they're like, they did not like that because they're very fickle.
Yeah.
They can't take that. It's like those stupid guards and the thing. So
They're the people with the most direct means by which to make his life more difficult in the short term.
we're getting to the scene. Yeah. He goes back to Arkham, and he's up until this point he's pretty pleased with himself, and he's being kind of uppity. He does the laugh, and they kind of throw him down, and he hits his head, and he gets knocked out, and they start like putting water on his face, and then they push him over in the showers and tell him to get these rags off of them, and then we cut away, and something happened. They they raped the Joker out of him. That's no other way to put it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This is a majorly pivotal moment for the character. Yeah, it seems like his Joker's persona is switched off after that.
Yeah.
After that.
Yep. So I mean, first of all, we've discovered that if you really want to just end the Joker, just rape him. That's all you got to do. So Batman. if you
No,
wanna actually
Batman, no.
stop this-
I can't cross that line, Dev. I'll become
That's all
one
you
of
have
them.
to do.
Uh,
But also, I mean, I'm pretty sure like they don't actually fuck him. I think they shove their billy clubs in him. Like I don't think they're putting their dicks in him.
Well, I think it's left up to imagination.
I mean, one way or another.
We can assume he's severely and very traumatizingly sexually abused.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't like that. I was not a fan of this being a thing.
Well, is it because like it's a traumatic scene, or is it like do you
I
not
think
like
it was
on
just
a-
too
on the-
much. I don't think we
Okay,
need to
fair
go this far in this movie.
I think you could have beaten the shit out of him, and it would have made the point.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
would. That's what I thought we were going for, because they already knocked him down, and then they get him into the fucking showers, and I was like, oh fuck, are we doing something like this? Oh, okay.
It
I mean,
strikes
it's
me
like
as an
it's-
overreaction. Like the guards wouldn't just be like shrug it off, be like, oh, whatever, he's talking shit. Like maybe like slap him around a little bit, but I don't know. What they did was quite extreme.
Well, it also doesn't
It
stop
was,
there.
but
They
I-
also fucking kill Ricky right after, because the fat guy is so overly angry that he even won't be stopped by his guard fellas when he starts choking Ricky out, and we can hear them. Can hear them getting strangled. It's like, oh, he's gone. It's like, holy shit, you just fucking did something to him in the showers, and then you killed
Yep.
some
There
other
are-
guy. It's like,
Yep.
god damn.
There
Mhm.
are full-blown villains in this movie who like receive zero consequence. Like
would be
the
nice,
guards
yeah.
are just fine by the end, and it's like they kind of do things as horrible as anything Arthur did in the first movie or this one.
Yep.
Which you
Um,
know,
I mean,
I
does he
wonder if
do
it's the
anything in
point.
this movie?
But
It probably is the point, to be honest. I think so. I mean, it is an extreme scene. It's an uncomfortable scene to watch, but I think it fits thematically with the movie, because since the first two movies are basically all about the Joker, or sorry, Arthur Fleck. Let's be specific. Arthur Fleck's inability to form like actual meaningful sexual relationships. This fits in thematically with that, I think.
Well,
Hmm.
it goes back to his
Yeah.
abuse, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
like,
mean,
I think it
the whole
does.
point of like in both of these movies, Arthur Fleck, like he has like a sequence of just terrible experiences regarding women, regarding sex, his own sexuality. I mean, the fact that he's like he basically humped Lady Gaga for 10 seconds and was done, you know? It's like, this guy, like, he is purely sexually dysfunctional, and I think
Yeah,
this kind of fits the theme of the movie.
I think that is true, and I think like I don't have a solid argument as to why this doesn't make sense at all. I just think it was too far because I think that he also has a lot of experience just getting beaten up by people. Like that, I mean,
Yeah, and the
I think
punishment
that would
doesn't fit the
resonate
crime.
as much. Yeah, like it
just
it
like
seems like
called
what
him.
he did wasn't nearly enough.
Yeah, he called him a name on television while he was acting out in his like Joker form. Like I get like it would be one thing if he like somehow revealed some information that maybe got them in trouble, but like what they blushed and that was it, and they're oh fuck not on my watch, brother. And then they take like it just doesn't match
Yeah.
up with what was going on. So
Well, yeah,
it just
you're right.
No-
It doesn't fit the crime, but I think that's why they did it, right? Because remember the whole point of the guard's relationship with Arthur Fleck is that they are faking being friends, but they're not actually friends, and they let him know that. So as soon as Arthur Fleck has an opportunity to actually get one up, to get one win on the guards that they can't really undo or they can't immediately react to, they're going to take that with an extreme hostility, and they do. So I mean, it makes sense. I understand the
again,
point. Like if
that's
you,
why I wanted to be clear. I'm not arguing against it making sense. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, but I think it was a little further than they needed to go, and I don't think it added enough that the discomfort of it made it worthwhile.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
in a movie
that's
that's
fair,
so
that's fair.
dour,
I
it's
don't-
like
I
you had
don't-
to go this far. Like, why not peel off his fingernails too? That would have sucked also. But like, did you have
See-
to?
see,
Like,
I don't mind the discomfort part of it, and the fact that it makes sense for me is enough to warrant its inclusion.
I think it just makes
Yeah.
the guards too comically evil, way too comically
Yeah.
evil. It's way too much, way too fast, as someone in chat already pointed out as well. I think it's just the reaction is too harsh. Like I don't mind uncomfortable scenes. I just think it's just unwarranted for what happened. Basically. Wait, what time? Oh, yeah, we see Gaga sings a song to herself, puts on clown face because she's now Harley Quinn Rooney. Also, no, they did not sing a song while they did it. They did not do the meme. Which brings us to the closing statements. Gaga is now in front row, with the Harley Quinn clown face going on. He's also full clown face still. And closing statements. And Arthur grabs a stool, puts it in, puts like so he's basically sitting there like he's doing a bit, right? He's like on the stool, he's sitting there, has a microphone in his hand, cigarette in the other hand, I think. And I think everyone would expect like there's going to be like a big rant, right? And it's like he just says like he wanted to go on an angry rant and say how everything just fucking sucks, but basically it's like there's no Joker. I can't keep up this facade. This is me. There's only Arthur. There's no Joker. Joker is no more. It was all a fantasy, and I can't keep it up anymore. There is no Joker. And he also admits that he killed 6 people, admitting that he smothered his mother in the hospital bed. And that's it. Joker he's not the Joker. That he's definitely not. The cake was a lie, as True Pop Culture says.
This is the whole like undermining the rest of the movie, whether you believe that he became the Joker because he's off his meds, or whether you actually believe that there was 2 personalities, or whatever theory you believe. This scene is basically him saying, "No, it was all fake. I was just faking it."
Yeah,
And I think
that's
the
basically
scene
what
would
I've
need-
seen online. No matter what people were thinking, when it came like to the end, it's like, oh, you just shat all over it. Cool.
So I think this scene though would have worked a hell of a lot better if it wasn't the guards abusing him that did it. It was just Gary.
Yeah. That could
Like
have worked,
I
maybe.
honestly think that because I didn't hate that he decides to not go through with just be like he was like, hey, you know what? No, I've done bad things and I need to pay for them. Like I would have been okay with that. I think actually No Points Baby here points out in the chat that like why did he do his makeup also if like he was totally done with the Joker persona after that attack. Like I feel like he wouldn't go through the trouble to do the makeup, or it would at least look a lot worse. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that like Gary Puddles, everybody, not Gary Beekler from Nerdrotic. Everyone, that's what everyone says every time. But Gary convincing him, it's like you were a good guy. We were the two good guys at our shop who were good to each other. And just because the world's bad didn't mean that you had to become bad too. And I think that would have been a better moral, you know. And but then, like even this, like he runs right out and then goes right to Harley Quinn again, and it's like, what, dude? I thought you were done. Like, why are you even running?
Yeah, because Harley Quinn at this point, she just goes away. It's like, he's not our hero anymore. You actually see like more people, like supporters of the Joker's, like, fuck that guy, and they just leave.
The idea of it being Gary that makes him decide to abandon the Joker persona is interesting. I think at the very least it would function better than because what part of the problem I have with this is I'm not convinced that the guards violating him would lead him to do this, and it strikes me that he might actually decide to lean harder into the Joker persona. Yes,
he actually doesn't he yell out to them, "I'm gonna kill you all" at one point when they're beating him up, like before he's passed out.
I think I remember something like that. Don't quote me on that though. I need to check.
That's the thing. That being the thing that breaks him and makes him not want to be Joker is like it's almost counterproductive now that you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think like a big part of the first movie is like him sort of adopting the Joker persona is a sort of a way of blocking out the abuse that he suffered. And so now this is more abuse. So wouldn't he just regress more into and sort of become the Joker even more fully than before?
Become a more extreme
like Chad was said,
who's willing to do worse things to people who deserve it less.
As Pants Baby says in chat, getting graped as a kid made him the Joker, so why wouldn't adult grape make him super Joker? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He gets the Bane serum from the end of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. So this decision just feels like it comes completely out of left field.
Yeah, because I was interested. It's like, oh, what is he going to say here? And it's like, oh, that's what we're doing. Oh, okay. That's a bit lame.
Yeah, it doesn't feel earned or set up. Like, it's just like, what? Oh, okay. He thinks this now. Okay. Like, that's what I was basically thinking in that scene.
Yeah. But yeah, then this part of the trial is over, and he calls her. They already decided about the verdict. Calls her, is like, oh, blah blah blah, I need you around. And after he says that he needs her around, he sings a song about that, because that's just how we roll like 90% of the time with these songs. And yeah, we go back to the scene. He actually got rid of most of his Joker makeup, and he's getting started to be charged. Guilty, first case, and then he starts laughing again, which angers the father of one of the victims. And what happened next is legit. I was like, huh? All of a sudden, a big fuck off explosion happens. I was like, oh, okay. Sure. So yeah, everyone is knocked out. You see Harvey Dent having like a bit of the Two-Face stuff going on. It's a bit in the background. It's on one hand, I'm a bit cynical about this, like, oh, you couldn't help yourself, couldn't you? But on the other hand, it's just in the background. It doesn't matter that much. It's fine. I just get a bit cynical about this kind of stuff because of all the things people do in movies these days. But it's fine. It's fine. And Arthur wakes up and he just goes outside and just looks around, and he gets picked up by some other guy who has like full Joker gear. It's like, yo, it's you. And then he grabs him, puts him like in a cab, and they drive away. It's like a weird, so he's going around, he's like knocked out. It's like 2 minutes of him just hearing what's going on. There's like absolute pandemonium on the streets. He realizes what's going on. and he doesn't really like it, so he leaves the car. He starts running and ends up at the iconic Joker stairs and the Gotham Joker stairs, as we all know and love them. The iconic Joker.
There's a plaque
Stairs.
on them now in the movie's universe that says Joker steps.
The Joker steps. Well, the thing is like this. So the fact that during his closing statement, Joker rejected being Joker, and then like Harley Quinn gets up and walks out, and then like a bunch of supporters also get up and walk out of the gallery. That is the moment where politically where he rejects the call to be part of the revolution.
Right.
So it makes less sense that the next day, after he's rejected the call, the revolutionaries blow up the courthouse. Right.
Right.
Those-
Yeah.
It kind of undermines it, where it's like I can completely believe that at the height of all this going down and the city is like in turmoil and you have these people marching on the streets, that someone would blow up the courthouse as
Yeah, you'd think he
as
does
the-
his
yeah.
raging speech like he would have done and like he did in the first one. It's like, yeah, you get what you fucking deserve,
you
if like
fucking
something
deserve,
like that. And then he starts
Yeah.
getting charged guilty, and then the people's like, fuck that shit, and then they just fucking storm the courthouse, blow up the wall with the car bomb, and try to get him out of there. Seems like the more reasonable thing to happen, but here's like, oh, he just abandoned us. Well, fuck him then. Guess he dies. We don't care about him anymore.
until they do, because someone blows up the courthouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the end of the second movie kind of mirrors the end of the first movie, where you have the revolutionaries were all wearing Joker masks. Like at the end of the first movie, they like help him up. Like he's in the cop car for a bit, and like they yank him out and they free him, and he's like dancing on top of the wreckage, and like everyone's cheering. And for Joker, he's just happy as an audience, but for the crowd, they all think that like they're actually starting something serious here, that they're actually going to go on and have some sort of political revolution. And it does make sense that at the end of this sequence in the second movie, Arthur Fleck would get out of the car and run away, because he was never actually about that. He didn't want to do anything political. He just wanted an audience, right? So the fact that he's being looked on as this political symbol of revolution, I don't think he liked it that much in the first movie, and he definitely didn't like it that much in this movie. So it does make sense that he would like run away, and they're chasing after him, like, we love you, Joker, and he's like, just get away from me, and he's running.
Yeah.
But the issue is the fact that he basically spat in the revolution's face, and they still came to help him. That part doesn't really work.
Yeah, and then he goes
Right.
to the iconic Joker stairs and tries to still hook up with Lady Gaga, but she's like, no, get away. It's like, oh.
The courthouse bombing, if that story beat felt a little too familiar to the first one for me, where like the chaos he inadvertently creates gets him out of a jam, like Dev was saying, like the part where they pull him out of the cop car. Like this just felt like doing that again, but then obviously you have it's a bit different now, because Arthur's sort of running away instead of embracing it. And that part where the other clown is chasing him, on a metaphorical level, I actually quite like that, because it's him like running away from his Joker persona, but it's a little too forced. Like I don't think that guy would so aggressively chase him down the street like that.
Yeah.
He'd probably be like, "Hey, where you going?" Like, oh, whatever. I guess he's gone.
Okay, bye.
I
Yeah.
thought the same thing, like the very same thing, and it's one of the reasons I was drawn to the movie originally, because of that like image of him running from himself, and I was like, oh, I wonder how they're gonna do this. Like, is it gonna be actually him running, or is it someone else? And then to see it all play out, I was just like, ugh, like that's kind of a bummer. But the imagery was cool, and it kind of played back to the original opening, right, with the cartoon. So it was a kind of a good like full circle in a way. And like it kind of made me realize too that this movie had this sort of reverse arc of like he's going from someone who's probably a pretty bad individual to someone who just wants to be like normal. I want to be like left alone. I want to have a family. I want to, do all this stuff, and then everyone rejecting that. And then at the end of the day, sort of the joke's on you. You're just going to be alone again.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's a powerful image, him running away from somebody who's dressed like his Joker persona, like just chasing him at full speed. There's something to that that's quite striking, but like I was saying, it just in practicality, I just don't believe that would happen.
Yep.
I guess it kind of echoes the animation at the beginning, too.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's Jover.
No, Metal! Don't die. You're the only human.
Oh, damn it. The only one? Oh my god.
Who will repair me?
Beep boop. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, he we do the scene with Lady Gaga, where she's like, "No, I'm not gonna do you." She starts singing. He's like, "Stop singing! Don't stop it!" And then she just leaves. So he's been, yeah, as I said, alone again. And then we go back to the ward, where we have the
Pretty
ending.
good performance by Lady Gaga there
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like you can
I
see
think
in
she
her
did
eyes
very well.
that she's totally disillusioned and uninterested by him now.
Yeah.
Like you can see that in her face. Like she did a good job there.
Absolutely. Yeah, back in the ward, we get to our last scene. And it's like they're just watching the telly for a little bit, and it's like, "Hey, Arthur, you got a visitor." And it's like, "All right, cool." And then we see the guy we had like a short focus on earlier, and he's like, "Hey, I got a joke for you," and he doesn't make a joke about himself. Basically, it's like, "I watched you on the television." And then he shanks him in the fucking stomach like 5 times, and he bleeds out.
While laughing maniacally.
While laughing maniacally, and he dies. I think there's like half of a musical bit in there. Like he has like imagining Lady Gaga and him talking while he's like bleeding out on the ground or something.
Oh yeah, they went back to the "We Are a Mountain" number,
I think
when
so,
she shot
yeah.
him. Yeah, and because she shot him there, and it kind of cut away at that point. And then it goes back to like ending that scene, which again, the discontinuity of that whole thing was not good,
Mhm.
but it was supposed to serve to tie it all together.
And yeah, this
Yeah,
is
well,
the-
with
oh,
those,
go ahead.
sorry, just one more thing.
Okay.
The fragments where they're on that produced stage together, like they have their own variety show. They seem to be doing some kind of subconscious expectation of betrayal on Arthur's part,
Yeah.
where he kind of suspects that Harley is gonna kill him or reject him in the end or something, because like
Lead him to his death.
her pulling a gun on him, that occurs much earlier in like one of the other fantasies for some reason. Like I don't know why that is. I don't know
Mhm.
why Arthur would feel that way about her.
Was
like
it
the
maybe
sense of
after
doom.
he
betrayed
learned that
enough
she
by
was
his mother,
bullshitting
like-
around
Yeah.
with the information? Is that when that scene happens? I would need to double check.
Oh right,
I think
okay.
it's also just a genuine, general Freudian distrust. You know, like I mean, his mother was a very abusive person in his life, so the idea that another woman that loves him might end up being like betraying him in some way is something that I could see as a reasonable fear he'd have.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, just to wrap this up, he's just kind of sitting in the background. He's I guess he's kind of he's doing the thing. He's doing the crazy Joker laugh, and you can kind of see behind Arthur while he's bleeding out on the ground, he's starting to cut the Glasgow smile into himself. So
Oh.
yeah,
I was hoping you guys recognized that too. I figured you would, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting that they put that in there.
yeah. So
But,
this guy is the real Joker in this universe, I guess. That's the idea.
Yeah,
So-
which I mean, for a movie that was trying so hard to be like not connected to
Yep.
any other DC projects, it's like you did the fan theory that people had about Arthur initially. Like it's like, oh, what if Arthur's just the one who inspires the real Joker? That was one of the first things I was hearing when that movie came out, and I was like, I don't know, I like Arthur as a character who can become a competent villain. He kind of does towards the end of the first movie, but no, they just did the thing, even though this is never really going to have a follow up.
Well, the
Yeah, I don't mind it.
ambiguity of the possibility that he could be the Joker or maybe not was much stronger than this. Like this is now
Mhm.
like he's officially not that guy.
Nope.
He's just some pathetic nobody dying on the floor. Like,
And the
See, I-
the
and
Joker
I'm
who
actually
goes
okay
up
with
against Batman is a fanboy, which, like, you know,
I'm
again,
actually
I
okay
don't
with
like
it
people
that,
who like comic
Arthur
books.
that Arthur just boils down to being nothing in the end. Like I said, it squeezes the emo gland.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why, like,
He was never the guy in the end in anything in his life, and you know it works.
yeah, it does. If you remove, if the movie was originally titled Arthur, you would, and like kind of remove the other little elements of Batman, because you could at the end of this one, if you made some other changes, obviously, you could have hinted all along, right, that this was a Joker person, but it wasn't. But now that you have the very end of it, and we have Arthur go on this really weird ride, but at the end you have the real Joker sitting there cutting the Glasgow smile into himself, laughing, like, oh, this was to set up this guy who might be some part of, like, you know, the Matt Reeves Batman or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that. But they didn't do it that way. They did like, oh no, this is Joker, but oh no, just kidding. Actually, after all this, it's not, or it's some pathetic version of it, which is, I think, why I was so upset. Was like, I'm just like led down this path, a very confusing one at that, only to be left here being like, oh, it's just not the guy. And that's kind of sucks. It be sucks to be left there.
Right.
But yeah, that's the movie. We went through it, but
Yay.
I mean, Shag, what's your final thoughts? Because you have to leave here in a second. Maybe wrap up your thoughts here, and then you can leave and outro yourself.
Yeah, no. Again, thank you for letting me be a part of this. This is great.
Yeah.
No worries, man.
Good times.
I really want to like this movie, and there's many aspects of the movie I like. As a film, it's was very disappointing to see, especially coming off of the first one. It's like, how do we get to this spot? What were his like real intentions? Was it just a movie that he made, you know, just to mess with the audience? That it seems kind of crappy, but I know it's people do it. But like I tried going into it, especially hearing all the negative press around it. People say, "Oh, it's not good. It's totally bad." I tried to look for the things that worked. There was some really great cinematography in this movie, great sound design at times, imagery, like overall, like it was beautiful in a lot of ways. I do like that they made everything look like he was on stage in the show. Even like when he enters the courtroom the first time, it's like the spotlight's on him and the door's open. Like, it was really cool to see a lot of this stuff. I wish they had done a little bit better with the music. You know, I mean, there was a couple of good musical numbers. They couldn't stitch it together right, and that was unfortunate. I think people should watch the movie. I don't think they should go to I don't think there's a reason to go to the theater to see this movie. You can watch it on streaming.
Yeah, watch it in chunks at home if you're curious, I guess.
Yeah, fold the laundry, watch this movie, and you don't really have to like fully pay attention to what's going on. But it's, I don't know, bringing it down was good. I think all you guys had some really great points, and we kind of sort of mirrored each other a bit. And Dev, I always appreciate your takes on your different takes on things, your wild thoughts. But
Are they wild?
not wild, but I think they're like, you're not afraid to differ from the group, which is what I mean.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's I try and like kind of look at it that way as well. As there are good things, and I think they're worth pointing out at times.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it was a good film, or it was a decent film that just missed the mark on too many spots. But I don't know. Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for letting me be on.
Sure thing.
All right, Shags, where
good
can
hearing from you, man.
the viewers find you if they're looking to see more of your stuff?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at the Shagsworth. I'm on Twitter as well, or X, and I also stream some video games.
It's still Twitter. Let's be honest. It's still
Okay,
Twitter.
I say Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Shagsworth as well, and also on Twitch. I've been streaming lots of Satisfactory, and trying to not like scratch my neck in need of more of it right now, because it's very addicting. But yeah, I talk entertainment, I talk pop culture, some politics. It just depends on the day. I'm all over the place, but I'm starting to get more into entertainment and giving a different side, and seeing the more positives on films that I like, because there's not enough talk, I think, about good films. So yeah, come on over. I would love to chat with some of you guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I appreciate it again, and I'll definitely see you guys soon.
Yeah, link to the YouTube is
Awesome.
down below. If you want to throw your
Yay.
Twitch and the Discord, I can throw that down there as well in the aftermath.
Yeah.
I should probably get
Indeed.
going too. To be honest, it seems like it's getting. I mean, we're at the,
Yeah, no,
we're at the
it's-
end of the movie anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
just
if
gonna
you
do
want to give
super
some
chats
final
after this
thoughts as
anyways.
well. But yeah, Jack, thanks for hanging out. It was good times.
Yeah, man.
Don't let us keep you if you need to go. Just run away. You're free.
All right. See you guys later.
Later, Shags.
See ya.
Bye, dude.
Later.
Because yeah, I've got a handful of things I have to do today.
That's all
And,
good.
No worries.
Yeah, you
We've
got
been
any
going for
more?
what, like 3.5 hours? Yeah.
You got
so-
any more final thoughts, or did you?
Um.
And any more
I understand-
wild as
I
Han
understand
takes in this movie? That was fun.
I
like
understand
that.
why people don't like this movie. I get it. Like if you, especially if you actually wanted Joker to be this, the downtrodden, masculine kind of almost Ken-like figure from the Barbie movie. If you wanted him to be something like that, and it turns out, oh, he's not that. He's not actually the guy who leads the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a fucking loser. And if you were kind of hoping that would happen, I understand why you didn't like it, but I still like the movie. I think it was okay. Not as good as the first. Probably wouldn't watch it again, but I don't
Yeah.
regret watching it. I don't think I wasted my money or wasted my time on it.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Good times.
I mean, it has some serious flaws, but
Yeah.
it's it's people are acting right now like it's one of the worst movies ever made, or like it ruins things. Like no, it's not that bad, guys. I know, like I think on Arch called it an unmitigated disaster on his channel. And I was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. actually.
I think I could see people having that reaction to it. Like, I mean, like there are a lot of people who might go see this movie and like zero about it. I think I understand how they would get there. I think there's a bit more to it than that, and like I think we picked it apart pretty well in this conversation.
yeah.
But yeah, I would be very hesitant to recommend anyone go out to the theater and spend money on this movie.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, I
fair
mean,
enough.
like if you have a hankering to go to the movies, maybe. But like other than that, I don't think there's a reason to rush out and see this.
So there are a lot of legitimate reasons to not like this movie. That's all true. But I do think at least some of the hate from this movie is basically because of what the first movie turned into outside of the movie itself, like how it impacted the internet. And they kind of wanted a continuation of that, and they didn't get it. So
Mhm.
I think some of the hate is unreasonable, but nonetheless, it's still not like a perfect movie. It's still not nearly as good as the first one. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah, we do our best to not subscribe to culture war programmed response to media. It's like we'll watch it. We'll tell you what we think honestly. It might agree with your perspective. It might not, and then you'll make fun of us, and that's okay. We're on the internet. You can make fun of us.
Yep.
That's how it rolls. That's how it goes. But yeah, Dev, what are you up to? You talking about gay politics stuff again? Maybe some more movies on
I
the other
kind of
channel?
have to, man. I mean, my channel does a lot of politics stuff. I think more so than anyone else that comes around here. I'm more of a politics guy than anyone else because I do drama sometimes. Like I did that really good Chugga Conroy video, and I did a really good Stellar Blade video, and those are
You
more
did.
like drama
That
and
video
I
was
like
great.
your gaming content quite a
Thank
bit. Your Forspoken videos, one I often recommend to people, is like a brief history of modern Square Enix and like how things went
thank you.
down as far as
Thank
like
you.
their engine development goes. You have a really good segment on that at the beginning.
I'm basically doing. I'm turning my Dustborn video into another one of those. I'm probably gonna
Oh, nice.
call it the next Millennials Nadir or something because Dustborn is so fucking bad, and there's so many reasons as to why it's bad, and I'm not sure anyone on the internet has like people have tried, but like there's some political depths I can plumb in there that no one's gotten to yet. Not to toot my own horn too much, but I will toot it a little bit. I'm pretty sure I was the only person who got to the bottom of what actually happened with Stellar Blade. Most people were just assuming that it was woke stuff, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
not really this time. Like, by the way, it's woke stuff a lot of the time. All right, people don't want to hear that sometimes, but it's true. Sometimes
be-
the culture warriors are just correct, but with Stellar Blade they weren't. It was more complicated with Stellar Blade.
To be fair, my contention with the censorship that we found out might have just been to avoid piracy from designs of actual Korean clothing, which honestly makes way more sense than any other argument I heard. Is like I just didn't like the false advertising aspect of it, where they were being like uncensored, and then the first patch covers her up. Like, I mean, that seems to be kind of scummy. It's like
I
don't
I
make that your
understand.
thing in the marketing, and like that would have solved that problem for me.
I understand that for sure, but like on the other hand, like I don't know if you guys have seen the latest Stellar Blade patch, because I mean it's not in the news cycle anymore. But the latest one added even more boob physics to Eve.
Let's
Like
go.
she can now like she can like squish her boobs with her arms when she moves them around and stuff, and like there's more physics to the skirts, so like they actually blow up with wind. Now like they added a whole
I
bunch of
liked
stuff,
the game
and
as
if it was
like,
being censored, they wouldn't have added it. Like it's very clearly just like sex stuff they added.
Well,
into
true,
the
and I
patch.
mean, like I had the digital version on PS5, so I played the censored version, and I still quite enjoyed the game. For me, it wasn't even close to being a deal breaker. It was still probably, I'd say, maybe the sexiest game I've played this year at least. So you know, but I haven't
Yeah,
played that
great-
first
great
Ascension one. I hear that one's pretty awesome in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have
But I mean-
time for a multiplayer shooter.
I was like, man, so some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't, but first of all, I had a whole bunch of online controversies back over the summer. And then but here's the thing, like at the same time, while that was all going down, because there was like 5 different fucking dev canceling events going on, and you know, give the devil his due, I put my foot in my mouth a few times. I brought up some of it on myself, for sure. But at the same time, though, I had a bunch of IRL stuff happening that I haven't really talked about on my channel, but a few of you guys know what's going on. And basically, like at the height of everyone descending on me, I had to leave the internet for like almost a month. So I've been like so behind on fucking everything. I have a history of Gamergate video that I intended to get out on the 10th anniversary of Gamergate, which was August 29th. That is still like 50% done, and it's just sitting on my hard drive somewhere. I'm gonna put that out at some point. I don't fucking know. There's like a dozen projects that if I don't get them out between now and the election, which I think is November 6th in the States, the American election, they're just not going to be relevant. So I got to get them out like this coming month.
Right.
I've wanted to do a Dustborn video for a long time. Mahler's having me help him out with some stuff for the next Star Wars Outlaws EFAP. Like, I have a lot on my plate right now. I have a shit ton of things that hopefully I can fucking get out in the next 30 days or so, because they're all really big projects. And if I don't, I will have wasted something like 6 months of prep work. So
Oh boy.
it's crunch
Well,
time for me right now.
I hope it
I'm
works.
like,
I hate
you know,
that.
aside from this and the Archcast and probably one more EFAP, I'm not hanging out with anyone else. Like, I'm not going on Discord calls. I'm not hanging out with people.
Right.
I'm not doing like surprise appearances. I'm not like hanging out with anybody in real life. I'm just working right now. But hopefully you guys will see some videos come out soon that maybe you'll like.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on in December or something.
Hell yeah.
You know what?
Good
I think
times.
when is the election? The 4th or the 6th or something?
I
I'll
don't
probably be
fucking know.
available to come on again.
Like I'm the kind of
Yeah.
like Canadian who just kind of doesn't care what the U.S. does in their
Oh god.
elections.
Okay. So
I just sort of hope
worst,
they don't tear each other apart when they're finished.
The worst fucking part is that I also said I'll do the trucker video once the Canadian election season starts.
Yeah,
But that's
next year.
variable. It's not like the American one because it depends on votes of no confidence in Canada. And like Trudeau's had a few close calls. So I'm just like, listen, if you make the Canadian election season, the Canadian and American election seasons happen at the same time, I'll be done. Like, I'll just fucking collapse. I can't do it all. I'm not gonna be able to. So hopefully, even though I don't like Trudeau, hopefully he holds on to office for like one more extra month, and then I'll be happy.
Well, there you go. Well, I hope it
As a
all works
federal
out.
employee, I have no
man.
comment.
Appreciate you hanging out, taking your time. Always good to have you. Good times. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
Yeah,
great.
man, good hearing from you.
link down below.
take it
Don't
easy,
let
thank
let
you.
us keep you. Go back to the mines, to the editing mines with you. Go.
See you guys later.
See you,
Have fun.
dude.
Take it easy, Deb.